Hello, and welcome to The Contraband, where 6 Shakespeare actors play Blades in the Dark. This show is produced by Ghostlight RPGs, a collective of theater artists keeping the lamp lit even when theaters are dark. If you like what you see, you can feel free to follow or to subscribe. I'm Ted Bushman. I'm the Game Master. Joining me on this tale of a bunch of comparisons to different things are Jamie Hansen, Ben Isaacs, Kristen Perkins, Graham Ward, and Carson Wright. Hello, everybody. Introduce us and the character you are currently playing. Starting with my boy Jamie.
Hello, I am Jamie Hansen, he, him. I am playing Varric Lomond, also he, him, the worst liar in all of Doskvol so far that we've met. But he loves doing it, and he will continue to try to do it and to reintroduce himself into society.
Yeah, that's what he's doing tonight. All right, Benjamin.
Hey, my name is Ben Isaacs, he, they. I'm playing Hix Templeton, the creative producer of the crew.
This is a collab between all these people in Hix.
That's right.
I love it. Amazing. And Kristen.
Thought it was me, but I wasn't sure. Okay. Hi, Kristen Perkins, she, her. I play the girl, also she, her, the unnamed lurking about.
Yep. Classic. Graham. No, you're muted. No!
Hello, I'm muted. I'm Graham Ward. I'm also an actor like everyone else, and I am also pro game master and do various other game designy things. I'm playing Bram Borden, a large man with a greasy beard and a desire to hurt, and a greasy past. He folds his pizza.
Yeah. Well, he does it the right way, is what you mean.
Yeah, that's implied.
And Carson Wright.
Yes, I'm Carson, he, him, and I normally play Aldo Basran, though Aldo's taking a bit of a trauma nap, we'll call it, and I'm playing Eckerd Colburn. So, mysterious, not that mysterious, but learning a lot about a new person from Aldo's life, so.
Yes, indeed. He's a hound.
Oh, yes.
Graham, when you said pro game master, I thought you were going to declare your position on something. Like, I'm pro dinosaurs.
Yeah,
whatever.
I am pro game master, though, for you, Ted. I'm here for you.
Oh gosh, well, thanks. That means a lot. It's really hard seeing all these anti-game master people out there.
It's really a growing sentiment that's troubling.
Yeah, like the creator of Ironsworn, apparently.
John Tompkin, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, John Tompkin. Please don't be mad, John.
I don't know.
So yeah, we are all at this enormous masked ball, this huge party. I'm so excited to keep doing this. I said at one point, I think early on, when we arrived at the party, I was like, you could be here for 7 hours. And I was like, oh, it'd be kind of fun if this actually ended up being 7 hours. I doubt it will be. I think we're going to get out of it tonight, but there just feels so lush and full of things to do.
I thought it was the rest of the campaign.
Oh yeah.
Was this party?
This is where this is where we've been heading. This is the arc 2. So currently Aldo Basran, the sort of medic of the group, who also is a man from Catalan who served in the Imperial military. He is comatose after this strange encounter with the undead. Encounters with the gruesome undead. Well, I guess wasn't an encounter with them. He was trying to seek after the secrets of the undead. But yeah, he's comatose. Everyone's attending a masquerade ball at Felmore Manor. And that's where we're starting back up. The crew has an anonymous contact with whom they're trying to, make contact. See you guys later.
Yay!
I was like, what is the way that this gets said?
No, you're right.
Yeah, you had it.
Very clear.
Yeah, who's trying to give them a job, but they're being evaluated in the process, so we're going to see kind of how that goes. Anyway, very excited for the session tonight. And before we jump in, a content warning. The Contraband is a crime drama set in a dark, unpleasant city. Episodes will almost certainly contain strong language and violence, and may occasionally include sex and encounters with the gruesome undead. So, pull back the silken curtain and descend with us into the Contraband. All right. So, Aldo, I know, Carson, I know that your name is currently assigned as not Aldo, but you can change it back to Aldo. Aldo, you hear a pigeon singing in your dreams. You are standing under the willow. Bram and the girl just disappeared. They were standing alongside you. There is a hill below you that stretches down, covered in houses, that goes out towards the sea, and you can see in the distance the white island of White Crown, where the Sapphire Palace is located. Minutes pass with you standing underneath the willow. What do you do?
I look around first for the people who disappeared. Is this like right? This is picking up right
After it
at this
happens?
willow? Yeah. Minutes, right? Been standing here?
Yeah, just minutes. Yeah, just a few minutes.
Or so it seems. Sure.
Yeah, so it seems to you, yeah. You are behind you, so you look around for Bram and for the girl. As you turn around, you see there's a low wall, stone wall behind you, and what looks to be a garden beyond it. The houses below you like head down, and there's a large district that you don't immediately recognize that's there below you.
Just gonna start walking toward it, feeling drawn to it.
Towards the district or towards the garden?
The garden.
Okay. Yeah, you step towards the garden, and as you pass through the hanging branches of the willow, you immediately are no longer there. You are instead standing on a boat in the frigid and stretching dark of the void sea. Dania Basran leans over the railing. You see her. What does she look like?
Oh, she has like dark black as night hair. Is she as old as I knew her?
She's on a boat that is going to Doskvol.
Okay. Yeah, little preteen, maybe just, with hair that's sort of messy, dark black, but just like, somebody who hasn't really given much of a care to stop and fix anything about it. It's about what's over, what's about the view, it's about the adventure, and she's short, a face that just I don't know. It's a happy, very. It's the infectious kind of warmth that you'd get from somebody.
Yeah, she's got it. Despite it being the middle of the night and the sea around her being black as ink, there's an optimism and a delight to her. Even though you're standing, you can't see yourself, and you look down and you can't see your own feet, but like you're looking at her, and you can tell that there is, like, in her bag, as she's leaning over the railing, you can see a letter that has her name written on it in a handwriting you recognize because it is your own. She leans over and puts her hands in the water of the void sea, and as she brings it out, the water is still black in her hands. It's not transparent. The water of the void sea is actually black. There's a Catalan man, one of the sailors, who yells at her and sort of yanks her off of the railing, and they have a little conversation. In the distance, you hear a low rumble that at first seems like geological more than animal. You realize this is a leviathan in the great distance, rumbling beneath the sea. This boat is surrounded by the chop of waves, and as she leaves this railing and heads back into one of the holds, you smell people and walk down metal stairs into a room full of people. Dania sits by herself, and you hear next to her a girl asking her mother, "Will they know that Nassan was a rebel? Will they kill us in the square like they killed him?" Her mother says, "Shh, shh. Don't let anyone hear that. You have to be careful." You see as Dania stands up, she looks out of a window and sees a distant pinprick, this port at the center of the world, Doskvol. Then, suddenly, boom, you are following another child. A red-headed boy. He's around 11 years old. He's in the middle of Char Hollow. He is moving fast through a huge crowd of people. He heads across a bridge into Charter Hall. Large crowd. People are attending some big event that's happening. Maybe a hanging. I don't know. You get flashes of him pickpocketing. He's grabbing purses, and he's got this tight, sort of elastic band around his waist that he's using to put these coins in so that they don't jingle as he goes. It's honestly like it's this slow follow shot for you as you're just like soaring through the crowd as he's grabbing all of these things, and it's watching a master at work. This kid really knows what he's doing. He gets a bunch of stuff, all these coins for different people, different purses, and then turns down an alleyway, starts whistling as he's sort of happily strutting down the alleyway, doing what he needs to do. And then immediately in a single swift motion, you see that there is someone following behind him, a man wearing glimmering polished shoes. A hand catches the boy's hand and breaks it in a single motion. His wrist. Then, boom, you're in a dark and dilapidated salon. The red-headed boy sits weeping at a rotting wooden table. He's clutching his broken wrist in his hand. The man with the polished shoes sits in silence, waiting for him. He's pulling coins out of the little sash that the boy had, and he's putting them on the table in a little stack. And he says, "Oh, don't cry. The work will be good for you. Having an employer is part of growing up." He slaps down the coins on the table. Boom. You are somewhere else in the city. You see a flash of a dead body in a gutter, coated in mud. Pale skin, not Catalani. Boom. You're asleep. Now, Bram, you are you still on the balconies? Are you still looking for Princess Livia? Cool.
Yes. Yeah, I'm kind of keeping an eye out, scanning the rest of the conversation. I've been approached, correct, by one of these masked contacts?
You were aware of these. Aware of these people being told. So yeah, let me give you all the list of the people who you've been approached by. There were 4 individuals, all of them wearing autumnal masks, which you were told to look for. One of them came to one of you on the dance floor, a woman wearing a beautiful wreath of gold and bronze leaves. She bumps into one of you and says, "Oh, would you like to dance with me? There are simply no romantics anymore. Depressing, isn't it?" So that was one of them. There was a servant girl wearing a mask that looked like a pond, the edges of which were frozen over with frost, but which still had leaves underneath them. The servant girl pointed up at Thurgood Rathsbane and at a brooch that he was holding and said, "Pardon, things are busy in the kitchen. I'd like if you could obtain something for me, if you could." Sort of gesturing that way. Another interaction was a bespectacled, smirking diplomat who wants you to solve a puzzle. He says, "I need your help solving a complicated diplomatic problem." He's sitting in the blue salon surrounded by a group of classy-looking people. There's also a 4th person, a man wearing a furry mask, sort of like bear fur, but it also hangs with miniature purple berries. Yeah, the man who's the bearded man, his mask covers one of his eyes entirely, actually says, "Muscles feel strong there. You want to prove it?" So these are the 4 interactions.
Bram, right?
Yeah, these are the actions you have had. If you'd like to, now these events are happening. You're welcome to keep doing other party-related things, I know if you had wanted to make another action looking for Princess Livia sort of in advance of that, you could, or you can just jump into these things as you would.
Let me make one action. Bram will sort of give a rueful glance, one last glance at the room.
Cool. Yeah. Love it.
Let's see. Survey? Nah.
Yeah,
we'll
survey
do-
seems good. Or
hunt.
study. Yeah.
I don't know
that's
if.
good.
How do you interpret hunt?
Oh, hunts can totally be following or tracking someone. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Absolutely.
really. I mean, looking through the masks, that is a 6.
Ooh, baby.
So you spot. So you're on the balconies. The garden balcony is this mixture of spaces. There's some parts of it that are under like greenhouse glass, sort of conservatory like. Others are open to the night. There are weaving avenues of trellises covered in ivy. It's kind of maze-like and easy to get lost, but also easy to find some privacy. The flowers that grow here represent an encyclopedia of the whole world's floral language. There are young people, there are old aristocrats, there's a pair of Leviathan hunters in their dark cloaks and clanking boots. But finally, after all of this time looking for it, you spot a flash of silver hair, the distinctive marker of Princess Livia. You see she wears a dress as pale and glittering, and the trail of it sort of comes behind her, about a foot behind her. You follow some distance. It's clear that there are 3 men who are always orbiting her, all wearing the most sort of blasé and unimaginative masks decorated with pine needles. These are, clearly bodyguards. None of them, you notice, are Lord Liam Claremont, who's sort of well known to have a close relationship with the princess. But after some socializing on the floor, you see her ascend the stair again, pass briefly through the blue salon, and then out onto the balcony, where she finds a space that there's a little sort of secluded space that you could essentially enter into if you'd like. Some of the bodyguards are around her, but at enough distance that it's just because you're aware of them that you know that they're there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bram takes a deep breath and walks in that direction. After he's approached by one of these masked contacts, he'll just sort of mumble something, in a minute, and move away.
Love it.
Potentially leaving them a little bit like, what the?
What was that? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And enter the balcony and just sort of go to a corner, light up a little cigar as if he's just coming out for a smoke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're just some small distance from her.
Mm-hmm.
She turns to look at you. You don't get a good look at her face. She's got a mask on that's sort of snowy and a little bit, not a lot to it. Like a lot of there's sort of interlocking pieces that are somewhat interesting, but it's not that complex.
Mm-hmm. And I've got, of course, for those who weren't watching last week, I've got this kind of hood headdress with a like a marble statue mask that's been kind of pocked and worn with time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll just from behind the mask, I say, "Evening." And I'll have to begin to lift it off in order to smoke.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So I'll kind of pull the whole thing off a little bit. Big tussle of dark hair, and prop the cigar in my mouth and start pulling out a little matchstick.
This figure in white with the silver hair says, good evening. I like your mask.
Oh, it's very fine. Made for me by a professional costumer. Have you heard of the Velvet Patchworks?
I'm afraid I have not. As you listen to her speak, there's something off about her speech pattern.
Are you all right?
And I'll say,
Your Royal Highness.
She sort of shakes a little bit and says, are you a friend of the princess?
Of course.
Would
If
you mind
the
making
princess was in need of any help, I would be available. again.
The girl looks frightened. Do you want to roll a consort or something to try and convince her of your trustworthiness?
Yeah. I'll have to push for consort,
Okay.
which I shall do.
Okay.
Can I ask for a devil's bargain?
The princess will ask you a favor.
Yes, of course. All right, so I'm rolling 2.
Okay.
I've taken 2 stress.
Okay.
A 2.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, Bram immediately senses he's kind of overstepped, and just starts muttering,
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean him.
She starts to lift her mask, and she does so to the point where you can see this is not Princess Livia. This is someone who was brought to this party to look like it was Princess Livia. One of the bodyguards steps in and says, "Pardon me, sir, the princess needs some privacy at the moment."
Yeah, Bram, his jaw just kind of drops and he takes a couple steps back toward the door of the balcony. Watching, keeping eye contact with her. Does she seem...
The decoy, or whatever she is, seems... Yeah, the decoy, yeah. She seems a little bit frazzled, like she's messed up what she was supposed to do. Like she gave something away that she wasn't supposed to give away. So she seems a little bit upset, and also is uncertain if she was convinced by your, so she's just sort of perplexed and shaking, and that's
yeah. Bram just slack-jawed backs up into the party again, not knowing what to say.
Okay, yeah. The bodyguards don't follow you or anything; they just sort of look at you in confusion. But yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll turn and try and find my contact again.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Is there? Yeah. So basically, how do you guys want to approach these 4 evaluators? Whoever wants to go with whom.
Well, I think I'm going with the servant girl because I'm pretty sure she approached me too, right?
She did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I'll dance. I mean, if someone asks me to dance, then I'll dance with them. But perhaps they asked Varric to dance. Maybe that'd be better. Maybe I'm just over at the punch bowl. I think maybe I'd say, if they approach me, I'd say ask him.
Sure.
You've been having a better evening than Varric. Varric, I think, is still sitting at the bar, kind of moping.
Oh, yeah.
So Varric and Eckerd and Hix are all at the bar currently.
Happening? It's that kind of night.
Eckerd and Varric are like sad on either side of Hix, who's like just like looking around, smiling, having a drink, trying to hold it down with the buddies. Hey guys. Okay.
I'm gonna find the diplomatic questioner since I'm in the blue room.
Yeah, the blue salon. Yeah,
the blue salon. I'll go right to him and say,
"Excuse my my momentary disappearance. I would love to be involved in your little puzzle."
Oh, wonderful. Please do sit down. And you see there's a bunch of chairs around here. There's 8 people around just sitting here interested in this conversation. Diplomat's got this long shock of curvy white hair, this little beard, wearing big glasses. He's wearing his sort of diplomatic uniform. He says, "Now, I am just trying to think through. I've been asking opinions this evening. You see, imagine that, for example, I'm the ambassador to Catalan. As you know, it only recently joined the Empire after Akaros generously stepped in to create lightning walls to protect their cities, which were defenseless against the ghosts. The ungrateful rebels, claiming loyalty to the Queen of Catalan, started a war trying to gain independence from us who had no claim upon the place until afterwards. Anyway, as we all know, it's been 5 years since the Unity War ended and the Queen gave her sovereignty over to Akaros. But Akaros is concerned, and I, as diplomat, would be concerned for the Empire's image. The incidents at Koban and Timala caused a great deal of distrust, as many of the citizenry cannot lay claim to nuance with their little education. But I ask you, were you governor or ambassador, what steps would you take to embrace Catalan more tightly to the bosom of the Empire? What would be your strategy?
Bram puts out his cigar, probably a little later than maybe he ought to have.
Sure, yeah, the smoke's
I assume there's like
still
an
on.
ashtray or something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, tons of people are smoking.
Yeah.
More cigarillos probably than like big old
Right.
cigars. So a little bit different than yours, but yeah.
Let me return a question to you, if I may.
Please.
If you were to have a child who was rebellious, willful, did not desire your assistance or your help, what steps would you take to draw them closer to your bosom? Would you trust them to run their own affairs, or would you prefer to draw them tighter and tighter until they were strangled?
You see the other people around the group. There's some muttering. Someone says, "Oh, it's not exactly a perfect analogy. They're not children. They're full grown. They're their own nation." You see other people say, "Wait, let's see what he responds." Yeah, do you want to make you could make a roll on that if you want before he responds.
Sure. Yeah.
Or we could discuss it some more and see.
Let's discuss a little more.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I have a clear
yeah.
action yet that I was.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. Yeah. So he says, "Had I a willful child, I will promise you I've never had any of my 7 children were willful by any stretch of the imagination."
Of course not.
Yes. Simply doesn't happen in Brightstone, as we all would believe. There are no rebellious children here. I would give a child as much freedom I could manage within the bounds of what might harm them. That seems the clearest thing. I would try to support them in what they hoped for themselves. I would try to help them understand the limitations that I placed upon them, and the disciplines that I had to perform. Were that the case? Those perhaps would be some of my responses.
This is very generous of you. You clearly show yourself to be a good parent. However, I must admit that if this is the behavior of a model parent, then Akaros is no model parent. Akaros has been overbearing, has harmed the child in its desire to help it.
But doesn't it seem that they could suffer so much without the lightning wall? So many died before Akaros arrived. It seems there should be some gratitude at least.
Gratitude can be its own prison, my lord. Now, I'm not a man who makes a habit of describing himself to others. But if I were, I would say that I was a man capable of noticing harm when it is done. A man who has felt harm and inflicted it. This empire has inflicted harm. And so, to answer your question more fully, I would say that it is the place of the empire to release its stranglehold on its children and let them grow up.
All right. What is that?
I would love to command. I'm trying to sort of like dominate the room and like make a show of schooling him.
Yeah, very cool.
I'd like to. So, Ted, are there people in the room that are like listening to them? And
yes,
it sounds like that people are listening to this discussion and then commenting to each other. Okay, so I want to set you up, Bram, by being in the room there with my date, and I'm going to be as we're like watching you do this, we'll be commenting to the people, and I'll roll a consort, dude. Do a set of actions so you can get more effect. Have the crowd on your side.
Awesome.
Rolled a 6.
Woo! All right, increased effect. That's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the date. Sorry, just really quickly. Hicks's date is sort of locked, unable to see exactly the nature of the conversation, and says, "Well spoken, this man." That was Bram.
Yeah, Bram's smart.
He's a
That's
friend of
all
yours. Oh, she looks at you with great confusion as you say his name.
Now you've done it. Okay, so am I rolling? And I'm rolling 2, and then do I get just increased
I
effect?
think you
or do I
just
also get a
yes,
die?
just increased effect, not another die. Is that right,
Great.
Benjamin?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I could also, I'll aid you. I'll give you another die as well. Take some stress and help you out.
Oh,
I worked hard
Thank
on
you.
this job.
Yeah.
On this, turning the crowd.
Yes.
So that's 1 stress for me.
that is a 6, which is very good. Thank you for your help. I would have gotten a 2.
Amazing. Yeah. So, you see, Bram, that there's all these people sort of, there's sort of affirmative statements going around, and the word stranglehold gets repeated very dramatically by a sort of somewhat flamboyant voice.
Stranglehold.
Yes. The diplomat at first looks somewhat appalled, but as he does so, he looks back at you with a sort of smile on his face. And so I'm going to say this was a 4-part clock called Convince the Diplomat. You filled 3 out of the 4 slots on it. So he'll say, and what does it look like to release the stranglehold on Catalan specifically, my friend?
This feels like a trap suddenly. Representation in government and discovering the will of the people before you dictate it.
All right. I mean, you could roll another command straight on that. I'd take that if you want.
All right.
I mean, it's a pretty bold statement in this room.
That's a 4.
Okay, great. So that's going to fill up the clock. So he's there's going to be sort of a murmur of approval, sort of elevated by Hicks's statement. It's going to be sort of moving through the crowd. The diplomat says, "Yes, well, good luck getting that through the assembly, I suppose." Then the whole room laughs.
Yeah.
It sort of dissipates the tension of the
Me
moment.
too. The loudest. He's right. They'll never do it.
So with that 4, the consequence of that, we'll say, so you guys, he shakes your hand and like brings someone else up, and they sort of, into the conversation. They start talking about something else. He says, "Oh, tell me about your son and how he's been doing." The diplomat leaves a small red piece of paper in your hand, it indicates a time in several hours.
Perfect.
And that's all that it says. As you are leaving the room, however, you sort of you're heading down the hallway, Bram. Hix, you're separated for a moment. A woman wearing a beautiful dress. You realize this is Hicks's friend. Grabs you by the arm and shoves you into a closet on the side. Let's say you take level 1 harm of being being slammed into this closet. Sure. Which is going to be, we'll say like bruised shoulder. How's that?
Yeah, I already have a bruised level 1 harm, so go up to
dang.
level 2.
Is it a different, what is it, specified part of the body, or is it a hand?
I think it was general. I think this is from Marlane.
Oh yeah?
Whole body bruised, basically. She beat the crap out of me.
as Marlane slams you into the closet, she'll increase that to level 2
Oh
harm.
my gosh.
I'm doing Kermit the Frog arms.
Unless you'd like to resist, which you can.
Yeah, I'll resist.
Okay.
This is Hix's
See where
date.
this is going.
This is Hicks's date.
Let's do a flashback real quick, can we?
Yeah.
To when I acquired this cohort.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
I want this.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I don't know, Ted. Where are we?
You were likely meeting in Silkshore, maybe at the St. Margaret's Theater, where there's a fighting pit, and Marlane has just gotten out of a fight with a red sash. She's got like cloth wrapped around her wrists. She's like it's maybe like, you're meeting her at the stage door kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah. I imagine I would be there maybe to see Bram. Well, I don't know. Like, why would I be at the fighting thing? I don't know. I'm just there.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
Just there
Oh,
taking in the
just like-
sights.
Like, well, how did
Seeing
you
the-
meet? Is this? I was assuming you were coming to find her specifically, but is this like a random encounter with her?
No, I've never met Marlane. And
Okay.
in the time when I was having Bram followed, sorry, Bram. That was when you and Marlane were on a bit of a break, I believe. So
Uh-huh.
I don't even know that you're connected to this person. I mean,
Sure.
maybe, yeah. I don't know. Perhaps
Sure.
there's.
A random encounter. Maybe. Here's one. You see her at the Taikarosi bar with one of the guys there.
Great. Yeah. So he introduces us, and we have a nice evening, talking and chatting, becoming acquainted.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe she keeps me from getting my ass beat somehow. Maybe someone is gonna like hurt me.
Sure.
And then, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
I guess that's sort of what I imagined, is that I have a good time with her. We're hanging out. We're walking in the street, and then like one of these, I don't know. It wouldn't be an inspector. I don't know, or maybe a.
No. Okay. So you're in here's what maybe you're in Six Towers at this like really shitty dive. You're with her and this Taikarosi guy who like you can't tell if she's on a date with, and she seems pissed. She seems really pissed. Also, she's got these bruises on her hands. What happened to her earlier today? You can't even tell. And like this guy's like trying to put his arm over her shoulder. This Taikarosi guy, he's kind of drunk. He's a friend of yours, but he's not very well behaved when he's drunk. So he's like sort of trying to make moves on her. And she keeps sort of shoving him out of the way, but like kind of being there for it. Like she's pretty ambiguous. But then you're stopped on the street in Six Towers by these two kids from the Cobwebs gang, which is this Tier 0 gang in Six Towers.
They're our next campaign.
Yeah, this is the big bads of the next time. They're like lose the coin. They both have steaming white eyes from having taken a lot of Quicksilver.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, and they both sort of like come towards you. And one of them pulls out a knife, and Marlane sort of drunkenly is like, oh, and then like swipes her hand, and you think that she's trying to get the Taikarosi guy off of her, but she slams the kid's knife out of his hand. And he's like, oh, and then like goes to punch her, and she just like kind of, it seems that she realizes that this fight is going on, and she just like boom knocks the one guy flat, and well, this one with her elbow, because like you saw her hands are bruised, so she's like trying to avoid hitting with her hand. So she like elbows this guy in the face, and then in the jugular, and then kicks the other guy in the belly, grabs him by the collar, throws him into a wall nearby, and says, "Fuck off." And
just like stepping back with my Taikarosi friend and watching her do this, I'm just like, yo, you need to stop, because she's gonna do that to you in a minute. Like, she doesn't like what you're doing. You need to pick up on this.
Yeah, he's got these. His hair is like in his Taikarosi trait, he's got this really dark black hair, but some of it sometimes shifts in color to sort of reddish. It's in this ponytail, and his ponytail sort of shifts a little bit red, and he's like, it's kind of what I was hoping.
Okay, well, I mean, you read him well.
And so Marlane sort of down the alleyway sort of slouches and says, come on, let's go.
All right, cool. I'll get her information and set up a meeting over coffee, perhaps. That would be a better setting for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's got like these deep
I'm
bags under her eyes when she meets you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, listen, I just am have a lot of heat on right now, and I could use someone on just keeping an eye out. You seem very capable, and I enjoy spending time with you. You seem pretty cool. So I have this big party that I'm going to be going to, and I could use someone watching me.
Hey, likewise with the it's fun, good spending the other night with you. It wasn't so great with Erstad over there, but this is criminal work. I don't really try not to do too much of that stuff.
Well, is what you will be doing criminal work? Is that what you're asking? No, you're going to be keeping people from beating my ass.
That happened a lot.
We're just going to go to a party, a masquerade. We can have a mask made for you. And I have reason to believe that there are some people with a lot of money who would like to beat my ass for what I do. And yeah, it's illegal. I move things from place to place. That's my work. And the people who are after me don't like that. And we're not harming anybody. We're just supplying goods to the needy people of Doskvol. So if it's something you're uncomfortable with, I mean, I of course don't want to force you into anything, but
yeah, you're good. Don't get up. Look, you said that I get to wear a dress?
yeah, and a mask. No one will even know who you are.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Great. I'll pull out this sack of money. Just on the table. I'm like, this is for you. I don't know how much it is, but it's a lot. It's one coin, basically. Mechanically, it's one coin.
Nice. Yeah, she says, okay. Yeah, well, it sounds like it's a really nice event, so I know someone who does that kind of shit too, but he'd never go to a party like that, so. So, meanwhile, flashback. What the fuck are you doing here?
I'm at a party like this. This is where I go. This is where I work.
All right, let's roll that resist.
I rolled a 6.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
No stress. So you just how do you like avoid? Because she's trying to shove you into this.
Yeah,
little
I just kind of ragdoll, loosen the spine, and take the blow to the back of the whatever it is closet. Did she?
Sure. Yeah, it's this like weird closet on the side, and she's probably like trying to. As she's pushing you back in, like you get tangled in all these furs. You're just like
Okay,
it's the sort of padding that happens to appear.
What am I doing here? What are you doing here?
Well, I'm dancing. I'm doing I'm just.
Oh, you're dancing. You came to a big fancy party to dance.
Oh, you think I couldn't do that? You think I couldn't go to a fancy
I've
party?
seen you dance. You just usually have wrapped fists while you're doing it.
Oh, fuck you. You think you know everything about me. You think you got my the whole sense of my map just charted. You think you know exactly what I could be, what I could do. You don't know fucking shit about me.
You came here with Hix. I know that. I saw you standing by him at the bar.
Is it?
You think there's more than one epic smuggling crew that works in this district?
Is that what you are?
Hix is in my line of work. We're like
While Hix
brothers.
outside the closet doing the like John Travolta.
Just hearing you like.
Well, I don't even know where they went.
And then Bram, still smarting from his disappointment with the princess, is going to suddenly kiss her.
Oh. Oof.
This is probably not going to go well, and I admit that.
I love it. I kind of love it. You could roll consort and roll 2 dice instead of 1 and take the lower. That's how you roll with 0 dice.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
I think you...
Is this a desperate roll?
That's a 3. Is this desperate?
What do you think? Yes.
In a mechanical sense, is this desperate?
Oh, whoa. Is this desperate?
It's a 3 anyway.
I don't think it's desperate. She's
Okay.
not going to break your spine in this closet.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
I mean,
She might knee him in the crotch, though. You know?
yeah, that's true. You might, yeah.
okay. So my consort is
You
a
rolled a-
3.
You rolled a 3. Yeah, she knees you in the crotch, I think.
Oh, shit. Marlane. This is supposed to be a respectable event.
Oh, sure it is. She pushes you away and she starts shaking and she's this fucking bullshit. I can't fucking escape you. Can't escape you. Fuck. She
I know where a door is if you want to use it.
Then she steps out of the closet, as you sort of try to come back, shoves you back in, and she walks out and looks at Hix and says, "You fucking do this on purpose? This is fun for you. This is so fun for you, huh? Did you have a good time?"
I don't understand.
I come out of the closet and I presume Hix will see me.
Hi, Bram.
Clutching my groin a little.
Y'all have a conversation in the closet?
You've met Marlane, I see.
You know each other?
Yes.
And Bram just kind of spits on the floor of Blue Salon and storms off.
Oh my gosh. Hix, do you want to make a roll to try and convince Marlane that you don't know about this? She's suspicious of you. She seeing your reaction, she's confused now. She was mad and she's a little bit just uncertain now, but it would help.
Yeah, I'll roll consort.
Right.
I rolled 2 6s.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she goes, well, of course he wouldn't fucking tell any of his friends about me. Yeah, good, great. She grabs Hix by the hand in this sort of romantic gesture and says, "I believe that we were doing some work together, weren't we? Is that right?"
Yeah.
I made an agreement, and you know what I do? I honor my agreements. I'm giving a pointed look at Bram. So,
I'm like, I have somehow ended up in the middle of something that I don't know if I would like to be in the middle of. That's full disclosure from me. I mean, if you can Hix is obviously just extremely like
flustered,
out of depth and flustered, and this is y'all have a complicated history, obviously, and I don't want to be
You also note that with the slamming of this door, you actually stepped out of the Blue Salon and onto the balcony that looks over the dance floor. You look down onto the dance floor and see about 10 faces looking up in your direction, sort of uncertain about what's just happened.
Eyebrows are raising.
So the eyebrows are raising clock has gone to full. So raising eyebrows is now full. So you, there is a new clock, which is a 6-part clock called "You're Being Watched," which has just begun. So
now I assume that some of the others' actions will be simultaneous with this, so they're not negatively impacted by my romantic history.
I love all my actions to be negatively impacted by your romantic history.
Yeah. So yeah, things are. There's just a little bit of a weird energy, and turning around corners, you just find yourself a few moments of seeing people having weird stuff happen. So, but nothing crazy yet. I mean, you don't see that inspector. You don't know where she is. But yeah. All right.
I'll find her later.
So, but the first of the 4 has been convinced. So there are 3 others. There's the dancing woman. There is the man who wants to test your metal and thought your muscles seem strong. Cop will feel, hopefully consensually. And
I think I know that guy. Likes to come up and squeeze your tricep.
Yeah.
Get the meat.
Yeah. And then Thurgood Rathsbane's brooch. So what are people doing next?
I'm very tempted to talk to the muscle guy.
Do it. Yeah.
I think
That
Eckerd.
puts that challenge in a whole different context.
I think Eckerd's following along and having spent the little time just talking at the bar, but also he's like realizing he's Varric's kind of the only one he really knows. Only because he came that one time.
Yes. Sure. Yeah. So yeah, the muscle, the bearded man with the bear mask goes, yeah, you can come with me if you'd like, and steps back into the banquet hall. You pass through the large banquet hall where there's a bunch of people eating. He says, you hungry? You want anything to eat? Have you eaten yet? You look like you've drunk a little. It might be good if you eat a little something.
I've had a lot.
To eat or to drink?
To eat and to drink. I'll have something.
Okay, great. I mean, you can help yourself. The plates are right there.
And he goes
My,
over to
my,
do it.
my stomach, like my muscles, are iron. I require.
Your stomach is iron? Oh, I see. For yes. All right, great. So like he passes through, and he's like, as he's chatting with you guys, like heaps some food onto his plate, and he's eating this like whole plate of food. And does not finish the plate before he keeps walking, and you walk into these swinging doors into the kitchens of the estate. There are a bunch of servants bustling through here. He says, pardon me, and none of them seem to notice. And he says, don't mind me, I'm with Lady Felmore, to one of the like attendants who comes up, one of the servants. He then walks over to a large trap door and opens it with a creak. And looks down into a wine cellar. He's got his plate in one hand still. And he says, yeah, come on down if you like. And he just like steps down into the wine cellar with this plate still in hand, and like takes another, like picks a little bit of potato off his plate and eats it as he goes down. Do you follow him?
Yeah, I'm gonna clock eyes with beforehand, kind of.
And he'll give you like a after you.
Yes, right.
And he'll set his plate down on like a preparation table back here in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's whatever he got is eaten.
Yep, sure. Yeah, you
Gingerly step down.
You guys step down in, and you hear a cook say, "Who left the fucking plate here?" And people are like, and then you hear a shatter as the chef throws the plate onto the ground. It's like, there's a place for the washing and there's a place for the prep. You think we want to take this out to the guests?
Mrs. Patmore.
So you head down into the basement, both of you. There's casks everywhere. It's mostly like full wine casks. There are no bottles like in any of those shelves in this part of the wine cellar. But you walk through some, like it's a little bit labyrinthine, but you see there's a light, there's some lanterns, and there's sort of a central area. There's a single hanging lantern and the cement floor with a few casks on the outside of it. He walks to one end of it, sort of sits in the corner, leans against the wall, and like takes another bite of a potato. And Varric, as you step out, a man punches you in the gut from the shadows.
My gosh.
So we'll see that this is him engaging you in fight. You won't take any harm immediately, but but so you can choose to. But I just wanted to have a dramatic beginning of a fight.
Yeah, sure. Marlane, meanwhile.
Yeah, Marlane and Bram are in a closet.
Get my ass beat.
Yeah, Varric's gonna double over, wheezing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that feels worse than I thought it would.
And Eckerd's like, what the fuck?
Another guy comes out and punches you.
Gosh.
Also Eckerd. So there are now three men in this space.
And was one of them
around
eating
you.
him? Eating?
No, the guy who's eating is leaning on against the thing, eating his food.
Okay. And then there's the two fighting.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both just like wearing sort of nondescript clothes, suspenders. One of them has a shirt on, one of them has no shirt under the suspenders. Just sort of nondescript dudes.
Good. Big guys.
Pretty big guys. Not like enormous.
Great. I'd like to immediately come back up and hit this guy real hard.
Do it.
I'm going to push. I sort of do the fake out thing, punched in the gut or whatever. He's like, ugh, and then he's just gonna come right back up, hoping to wait for the moment when the guy's gonna kind of pick him back up to sock him again, and he's gonna just headbutt him with the back of
nice.
his head.
Cool,
into his
cool. I
face.
love it.
So I'll push for an extra in skirmish, probably.
Heck yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Oh, that's the things.
Woo, nice. Okay, yeah. So this dude, you like double over and like, the guy says, "This one looks pretty drunk," comes down for like another hit on you, and you like bat his arm out of the way, and boom, Varric, you see Eckerd, stand up like suddenly kind of in the zone a little bit, and like his handwork is pretty good, it's just like in terms of engaging in close combat. We're gonna start a clock called first round, and this is gonna be a 4-part. You've just filled 3 slots on it.
What I would like to do is I would like to use my new ability actually.
Rook's Gambit, yes,
Rook's
I was
Gambit.
hoping you would.
So this is still part of the fight, but I would like to sway.
Okay.
And kind of glance up. We haven't really said like behind. Can we say that the one who punched me in the guts, his back is facing to the like entrance to the room?
Certainly.
And can I? The family hosting this is the
Felmore.
Felmores. Yeah. Can I?
Yes.
Sort of sit up and go, "Oh, Lady Felmore, please, it's not what you think." Staring towards the door, and then if I am successful, to then try to just shove him headfirst into a wall.
A wine cask. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Love it.
All right. That's a 6.
Whoo! Yes.
All right.
Yes, Varric.
That
All right.
eventually.
Yes. So this goes absolutely perfectly. You're like, you even like keep up the little like, wasn't I expected? And then you look up and in your desperate eyes, "Oh, Lady Felmore," and then he sort of like laughs, looks back, boom, and his head goes back into this wine cask. There's like the tap on it just like tilts a little bit, and it's like little trickle of wine starts coming out of it, sort of drips onto his shirt a little bit, and he goes. The two guys sort of back up a little bit, and then so that finishes the clock, and then 4 more guys, so 6 total, enter the ring alongside you.
Okay.
All right.
So they all just sort of stand ready for you, circling you, getting around you. Remember, flashbacks are possible. 6-part clock is round 2.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay.
And with more guys around you, position is worse, so you're now in desperate.
All right. Cool.
It's good. This is fine. Okay. So I think seeing this happen, Eckerd's like, "This one is drunk." Yeah. And he's gonna go for a barrel. And I would like to push this barrel over. I mean, if there's enough of them, I think I want to cause enough of a chaos.
Yeah.
To do that would be awesome.
Great. I love it.
I'll assist. with
Oh yes, baby. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. What do you think, Ted?
You playing this as a wreck?
I think so. To wreck some space.
Sure.
That would make the most sense to me. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's great.
So I'm gonna take it and just try to, I don't know, tie up a couple for a minute. 4.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Yeah. So
Thank you
pull
for that.
this.
I rolled a 1 on the other one, Varric. Thank you.
Good. Good.
Nice. Yes. Amazing. So yeah, you pull the cask off of the sort of rack, and Eckerd once again, like kind of tough, like pulls this pretty heavy thing off, and it little like strains his back maybe a tiny bit in the process, not to harm level, just like ooh, and then it falls. Well, I guess actually with desperate, yeah. So it hits the guys. The cask busts. A part of it does. Huge splash of wine all over the ground. Your feet are now like a little bit slippery, and this crit will just you take level 1 harm, crick in your back.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, from a
Crick in the back.
desperate, since it's a it's a thing. So you can resist if you like.
No. I'll take the crick.
Great. So two of them are backed up. There's still 4 more around you.
I used to like going to parties.
I would like to reach into an inner pocket and pull out the trance powder that I can carry without having it be a load,
Yes.
and blow it into, I guess, as far as I can.
Yeah. Get as many of them as you can in the roll.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I suppose since it's already desperate, there's no trading position.
No trading position. Yeah, you could push. Any devil's bargains? Anyone? If anyone has suggestions for devil's bargains, feel free to throw them in. Just because that's the thing. I don't think there's necessarily like a one that immediately jumps out to me with, fighting 4 guys in the basement. Yeah. So, what are you're gonna try and finesse? to get...
Yeah, I would say finesse.
Sure. Great.
Yeah,
Come and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
4.
Okay, nice, sweet. Also, I'm going to say that the Aldo's success got 2 out of 6 on the round 2 clock.
Oh, Aldo's success.
Oh crap! Eckerd's success. Yeah, Eckerd's success. Though got 2 out of 6 on the round 2 clock. Varric, you sort of blow out this trance powder in the direction of these guys. A bunch of them get caught in it, start coughing. One of them like rubs his eyes really intensely, and another one just goes boom and kicks you in the leg. I'm not gonna give you harm. No, yeah, you're gonna take harm. So level 1 harm, and you're going to fall to your knees. You can resist either of those if you'd like.
No, I'll take this. Level 1 harm.
Let's say ankle, not sprain. That'd be more intense. Sore ankle.
Sore ankle.
I don't know.
Yeah, give it. He likes it sore.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Awesome. And that increased that. So you're 4 out of 6 on round 2.
Okay. I'd like to look real quick over at the guy who's watching and eating his potatoes and narratively just be like, what are the rules? And does he respond?
The guy sort of looks around as if, does it seem self-evident?
Great. With the barrel in between me and these guys,
Yeah.
he whips like a knife up like a magician, and he's gonna huck it at a dude's like not to murder, but he's gonna huck it with great accuracy at somebody.
Nice.
Would you take a hunt roll on this?
Heck yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm into it.
Great.
Who doesn't throw knives at their prey?
Yeah. Exactly. Classic.
I guess what I want this to be, tell me if this works mechanically. So sharpshooter allows me to push myself to make a ranged attack at extreme distance or unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress the enemy. I wonder if I could like throw some knives at these dudes to not kill them, but just to have the effect of like
The 15 knives approach.
Well,
That's
no,
hilarious.
just to have a few guys like, what the,
Eckerd's like full ninja, like
Jasper's like, no,
fan of
he's
knives.
not.
Why not?
He's got one in each hand, is what I'm saying, and I want to just like hold some of them back. There's 6 of them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're learning about the man. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he
think
could be, but
yeah,
that's fine.
I think maybe slightly reduced effect on like the knives themselves, but not necessarily on the pushing people back. So.
Okay, great. Well, then I will push myself to do that. Oh, and make a roll. Oh, come on, dice. Okay, 6.
Great. Yeah. So you like pull out 3, maybe 4 knives out of a bunch of different little spots. One of them's maybe like a scalpel you use for grave digging stuff.
Probably not,
like-
honestly. It's a knife.
Oh, great. It's a
Yeah.
knife. Great. Awesome. Yeah.
He's not throwing scalpels.
Come on, come on.
No,
Yes,
no,
you're
no.
absolutely
He's
right.
got knives. It's like a boot
Yes.
knife, and he's
Yeah.
got like 1 or 2 like strapped into his.
Yep. Yeah. So
wrists
they're like
and-
coming for you. They're trying to get over this barrel, but you go. One of them strikes a guy in the shoulder, and it pins him to one of the
Mhm.
kegs.
Yeah.
Another one like catches it in his hand and starts, and it's like by the blade and is bleeding. And a couple more. So you hit 3 of them, and they sort of slow. And the man with the plate taps the plate 3 times. King, king, king. And the dudes all stop. Dude looks at his hand and goes, shit. Throws the knife on the ground, and they all disappear into the shadows.
Eckerd will go pick up his knives and kind of wipe them off on if there's a rag or a cloth. Not on his own outfit. I mean, he's gonna go back up there at some point.
Love it.
I'll help Varric up.
Great.
Thank you.
You did quite well.
Thank you. That's the most punches I've thrown ever, I think.
Do you always throw shock in the air?
Oh yes, it's my go-to. In fact,
It was, a little against the grain, shall we say, but I think it had the effect.
you are incredibly resourceful.
It is. Thank you.
The man with the bear mask and the plate reaches into his pocket, pulls out a little slip of red paper, hands it to Varric. All it says is the word Salon on it.
And to take it and kind of wait for anything further. And
Yeah, he looks at both of you, walks past you both, and climbs out of the basement.
Pleasure meeting you.
Great. Yeah, anything else from you guys in the basement?
How dislodged was that wine barrel?
The one that he threw down, or the one that you messed up?
Either. Are any of them leaking or anything?
Oh, there's one that's still leaking a little bit that could easily be fixed if you just sort of pulled the nozzle back out into position, essentially. Well, he got dislodged a little bit.
Hold my hand out, cup some of it. Taste the vintage.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's some pretty dark good stuff. I don't
Notes
know.
of,
Good
notes
stuff.
Yeah.
of, notes of like wine cellar dirt and like, like blood.
Yeah, a little bit of iron in there.
I think I'm
sort of.
Yeah, I think incredulously look at him do that, but then also kind of shrug and
Couple. Laugh it up, nice.
and then slip on the way up the stairs for a sec. I'm good.
Yeah. I love
You're
it.
good. You're good. You're good.
I'm good.
Great. Anything? What else are people doing? What's happening at the party?
Well, I would like to go with the servant girl. Although, Ted, can you recap this for me? Because I think I missed it. There's something
course.
to do with the brooch. Like she gestures to the brooch, or
She gestured to it. Yeah. So she basically said, "Wonder if you could look for something for me." And as you talk, she says essentially, "Man's a good rathsbane. Don't be frightened by the Leviathan Hunter name. He's one of those useless sons of noble houses. You know how those are. But Thurgood is planning to give a quite valuable brooch to Juliana Fellmore as a gift. She doesn't want it, nor does she want him. It would be far better if the brooch ended up getting lost somehow. And, the people I work for don't particularly care where it ends up.
Don't particularly care where it ends up. Of course, it might be helpful if I knew where it could end up to meet you.
Oh, well. Sorry, you're wanting to know where you could meet her after you've obtained it?
Yeah, rendezvous.
Great. Yes. She says, "I do so love the sea air."
As do I. Perhaps we can enjoy it together, at some point in the
It's
evening.
wonderful to see from above.
Perhaps I'll encounter you later, and I'll drift away. I'll
Right.
turn to Valerie, my sister.
Yes.
and,
Also, did we ever deal with her dress that was ripped?
Yeah, I think I mended it in the
Yes.
coat closet.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And maybe that's where the servant girl found you, is that you were in the midst of doing this sort of delicate needlework.
Great.
Yeah, great. Valerie is feeling a little bit more herself. Her face was rather red. But she says, "Oh, look, there he is. Kyrol Fairwind." You
Perhaps
don't think he saw the business with Eckerd, did you? Did you think?
Oh, certainly not.
Okay. Wonderful.
And your dress looks good as new, if I may say so myself.
You should say so yourself. It's fabulous. Honestly, I think you would have done better with the cut. But anyway, thank you.
Valerie, dear, and I'll take her hands. Perhaps you'd like to go dance with Kyrol. Perhaps you could approach, see if he asks you, or be more direct if you would like.
I hate to leave you.
Sister, dearest, I think perhaps if you left me for at least a little bit, it might be safer for all involved.
Oh.
For your dress, at least. Who knows if my friend Eckerd will show up again?
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blame him. It's just that it was his fault.
It's quite clumsy.
All right. She kisses your hand and goes off. Do you want any? Does anyone in this group want any influence as to whether Kyrol chooses to dance with her?
Yeah. Maybe later. Maybe we'll get the recap, see how it went.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, if you basically what I was saying, if you want, you could make a roll to consort with him. Otherwise, I'm gonna make a fortune roll as to whether or not he chooses to dance with her.
I think Hix, unless you want to do this, I think he smells a chance to redeem himself.
Love that smell.
Perhaps he's figured
Smells
out
like redemption.
Yeah, with Varric, we figured out Kyrol. This is the guy.
Yeah.
Pointing me in the right direction. And all.
Is this post basement fight? Is like your shirt torn and like?
No, I think I've mostly tidied it up a little bit. But there's definitely whiny smell. But
sure.
Yeah, Varric's limping next to you and sort of pointing at the one with the ship, the pretentious mask.
And he'll approach him and say, "Excuse me, sir."
Yes. Good evening. What can I do for you?
How
are you?
Quite well. It's a wonderful party, isn't it?
The wine is quite wonderful. I can tell you've enjoyed some.
Yes, yes, I have.
What an asshole.
You're talking about Ted or Kyrol?
Oh, Kyrol.
Come on.
He
not even once.
Yeah, no, he definitely does, and it's like, excuse me, it's too good not to indulge from time to time. Yes.
He lifts his own glass, drinks some.
Well, I suppose this is rather odd, but request, but I seem to have ruined somebody's night.
Oh, I'm sure you haven't, sir.
Oh, I'm
So hard on yourself.
fairly sure I have. Yeah, I ripped a young lady's dress on a night like this.
Oh.
On the middle of everything. I used to be quite a dancer, quite nimble, but it's been some time. I'm wondering, this is, I understand, a favor for someone you don't even know, but she seems quite dance with you. In fact, she was inquiring about you and speaking of you in quite, well, dare I say, she seems interested in dancing with you, and I wondered if you might consider. She's quite lovely, I think, under the mask.
Everyone is lovely here this evening. His eyes drift towards a figure on the balcony in a silver dress with white hair.
Wait.
He says,
wait.
Do I know her?
Kyrol.
Oh, this piece
Somewhere
of
Bram is
shit.
like gritting his teeth and
Yeah.
No, somewhere Bram is getting hit in the nuts by Marlane. Actually.
This exact moment.
Well, and gritting his teeth, no doubt.
Yes.
He's like, I guess I wouldn't know. She seems to know you, a man of your esteem, of your.
Oh, you military men are too polite. No, I'm no one of esteem, I promise you. You can make a consort roll if you want.
I will try. We'll try.
Or a different roll if you'd like.
No, I'm gonna
play
I'm
it.
gonna push myself to do it. No, I'd like a devil's bargain.
Ooh. A devil's
Perhaps
bargain
the
about
girl. I don't
asking
know if
Kyrol
he'll
to
ever see
dance.
that girl.
Valerie?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Chris might play her sometime. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, if I ruin this, will the girl take? I don't know. No matter
Oh,
what.
will she
I don't know.
blame you?
I don't know.
I feel like I've done a lot of hate you
Oh.
forever.
Yeah,
devil's
that's true,
bargains,
that's true.
But I'm not against it. Dang it. I think. Any thoughts from everyone else in terms of what would be a good devil's bargain? I think there's a good one here somewhere. I'm just not sure what it is.
Is it unfair for this to affect one of Kristen's relationships? Like, maybe it doesn't have to like inflict harm on her, but maybe it somehow compromises something in her world because you're.
Or if it's an effect on Varric's relationship with Kyrol somehow.
It could be that way.
Well, does Kyrol know Eckerd? Have they met?
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he would have to clarify it. Yeah.
But maybe he sees them together later.
He
Or
could put two
something.
and two together, that the two who smell like wine and they're like limp.
Yeah, may have seen them
Could do
together
that.
at some point. Yeah.
Maybe he thinks that they're together.
My only idea is that no matter what happens, Valerie's night is ruined.
Oh no.
Wow.
Person,
Yeah,
I
so
want
you
Valerie to
get
have a
an extra
good
die
night.
and Valerie goes on the chopping block.
I mean, that's
You're
pretty,
heartless.
it's
You're
pretty
not even
bladesy.
thinking about her.
No, he's really not.
Oh man.
I don't know. Whatever. I think they're all good. Or I can.
Here's what it is.
Okay.
No matter what happens, Valerie goes not from crushing on Kyrol, but she goes to falling deeply in love with him.
Oh boy. Sounds good.
Yeah? Choose love, as they say.
That's devilish.
4.
Yeah. Okay, great. You gesture to her, and he says, he claps his hand on your shoulder, just very lightly. Says, "Say no more, my good man." He nods at you and strides off in your direction. So we don't see exactly what happens. We can get the recap at the end of the night.
I mean, can that mechanically count as a setup? Because
Oh.
Eckerd like rolled to get the girl away from Valerie, get Valerie
Heck
away
yes.
from the girl so that she
Yeah, I love that. Yes, yeah. So you see a conversation happen. Vronsky, Kyrol, comes over to the young girl, and they nod. They have a brief moment, and then he holds out his hand, and she joins him very gracefully. I mean, she's practiced, and she doesn't mess up. You know, she's not. Valerie may be, having a stressful night, but she's no slouch. She knows what she's doing.
She's no Eckerd.
Eckerd did pretty well for himself too. So they step out on the dance floor and begin dancing, and the girl now has free reign to do as she likes.
Yeah, the girl is happy for her sister, and then also sort of mutters to herself like, "Better you than me, asshole." And then she's going to circle the ballroom, trying to get eyes on the brooch.
Great. I am interested in sort of leaving this a little bit in your court in terms of how far you want Thurgood's plan to have gone.
Okay.
Unless you want me to because I can also make a fortune roll about it and we just sort of see what happens. But if you want to make the call, I'm happy with that too.
Well, I have a plan A and a plan B.
Okay.
So I guess let's do plan A, and then if that doesn't
see what
work,
happens.
Yeah,
Great.
and see what happens.
Great.
So plan A is to try and use my lurk abilities to slip it.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like straight pickpocket.
Great. Cool. Awesome. I'm into it. So you get an extra die because you've been set up by Eckerd to effectively do this. You see Thurgood Rathsbane pacing the balcony. He is briefly shunted aside as a very tall, dark-skinned woman with Hix steps by in a huff. But Thurgood is he's got his, he's shining his monocle and putting it back on, sort of compulsively. As
I pass by, I'm going to notice the girl and notice Thurgood, and I'm going to just notice when he's like not really looking where he's going. He's like looking at Marlane, and I'll like bump into him, and I'll just be like, "Fuck off, man!" And like as like to command him and just get him off balance to further set up this lift in the brooch.
Yeah, woo! Love it.
And that's a 5.
Okay, great. Yeah, you bump into him and he says, no, polite Leviathan hunter, father, you.
Well, I hope when he's driving his boat, he looks where he's going.
He like blinks a little and then strides past you out onto the balcony, the western balcony near the ocean. But you see him, girl, you know exactly where he's gone, and he looks quite flustered and a little bit confused.
So I'm sort of ducking, weaving, getting my way there. Are there other people on the balcony, or is he alone?
It's sparse, and he's like, a lot of them are sort of out at the edge watching boats come into the harbor past the lightning gate, which is being sort of shut, like a small section of it is being shut off repeatedly to allow boats in, and people are sort of oohing and awing at the sight. So yeah, he's pacing and generally looking around. There are some statues that could potentially block the view of you from the others.
Okay. I think I'm not dressed in thieving blacks. I'm going to sort of make a more general approach, like as a party goer.
Yeah.
But try and slip it as I do. So I walk out onto the balcony. Oh goodness, the lightning out there. Oh, the electricity. Oh, isn't that just incredible? And I'll get sort of close to whoever's standing near him but not talking to him, and like I just think these modern marvels are, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't know the world building, Ted, so tell me but I would never have dreamed of such invention.
A tall man wearing a mask made of bones turns to you. He and his companions are all wearing masks that look like the skulls of hounds. He's got a thin white beard, and he says, "Oh my dear, you don't even know. Out in the Deathlands, things are truly impressive.
Oh God.
I'm Brace Meroden. Nice to meet you."
Oh, it's so lovely to meet you. Brace, you said.
Indeed, Brace Meroden.
As embrace yourself, God.
What a strong and masculine name that is, Brace. Oh, look at that. And I'll turn, sort of trying to direct attention to the gates opening and closing. And as I do, I'll sort of, in a girlish flutter, try and sort of slip and pickpocket Thurgood.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. What are you finessing?
I think so.
Nice.
And I have the setup still, yes.
Yes, you did.
So what the setups do is they give you either increased effect or increased position.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yeah. So you have increased
And-
effect from this.
And
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy for what I did to give you a die instead and take some stress. But
I feel like I kind of the effect that I was hoping to give from your success was him getting into a more isolated place. That was
Oh,
sort of
okay.
narratively, there's a slight improvement.
Okay. I'll just
No,
roll
no,
with
that's
increased effect then.
Cool. Great.
4.
Okay, great. So he has the brooch. There's a little satchel that he's wearing, like near his waistcoat, and you go in for it, and it is buckled, and so there is this like moment of, oh crap, and you successfully unbuckle the pouch, so that. Basically, so we say this is a 4-part clock to get in to get the brooch off of him, and you've just filled 2 of the slots. In the process, however, he looks at you and at Brace, and he says he's hearing you having called Brace so masculine and powerful and like sort of swooning at this moment. He says, "It truly is an impressive view, and yes, if I can bring her here." And then he steps away back towards the ballroom, striding quickly towards the dance floor and towards Juliana.
Turn to Brace and I'll say, it was so lovely to meet you. I feel, just a little flushed from the excitement of the bridges and the electricity, and I think I need a drink. And I'll follow inside.
He says, "Ma'am, I hope you haven't had too much to drink. I simply couldn't allow a lady to faint at a party. You must make sure that you are taking care of yourself."
Too much to drink? Is there such a thing at a party?
Yes, ma'am, it can be unhealthy. Yes.
I'm gone. I've moved away quickly.
As he's been keeping you, this our boy Thurgood is moving fast. He is just like across this place.
I'm gonna do the I'm going to try and move
Superhuman speed?
even faster. Yeah, I can use Devil's
nice. That's your
Footsteps.
power.
I'm gonna
Yes.
try and loop around, and then I'm gonna do the classic crash into the person.
Yes,
Oh, I'm
the
so
classic.
sorry.
Yes,
Classic.
Certainly, yes. Simply must.
So Devil's Footsteps does mean I push myself. So I think this would count as like pushing myself in a prowl.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. That's a 4.
Okay. Okay. So, your fingers grab this jeweled brooch. It comes out of the pouch The lid of it flips up and then back down without him noticing a thing. You've hurried through the statues. There's a point at which like you're sprinting across, and he's maybe short heels, and he like looks back for a moment, somewhat frightenedly. But you grab it, and he hurries on down the staircase, and you hear him call, "Lady Juliana," unaware of what has happened. And what he's lost. At that moment, if you'll allow this, Bram comes towards you. You just like he's walking away from Marlane, you're walking, or wherever he's going from. You're walking. A third individual slams into you all, and you all like sort of are jumbled for a moment. Bram, your mask is temporarily sort of shaken, as is yours, girl. There's just a moment of sort of confusion. And then the stocky man, the third person who ran into you, looks at the two of you sort of confusedly and says, "Oh, I'm very sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to run into you. And sir," and then he pauses. And you see, Bram, under the mask, you see a man who you recognize. This is Dean Filius Regule. He was the dean. He was in his 40s when he taught at the department of the university where you studied. Now he is nearly bald, and there are many new lines on his face. You imagine you were the cause of some of those lines, as he frantically told you that your dissertation was far too radical for a city in the grip of a crisis, that such revolutionary ideas were the privileges of more secure societies. And you remember the quotation in the university press when you were accused of abusing your students. He said, "I wish I could speak with more confidence of Mr. Borden's integrity." And the man says, "I know you, don't I?"
Excuse me, are you speaking to me?
Ma'am, are you quite all right?
I am quite all right. Just a little tipsy. Dear love, husband, dearest, would you perhaps escort me away? I'm sort of trying to pick up quickly that Bram has maybe been recognized. And
okay, yeah, he says, looking at Bram, "Don't I know you?"
I'll just turn to the girl. "Of course, my darling. Excuse me."
Amazing.
And
roll.
if you can't tell, Bram is affecting a little bit of a more upper class accent.
I heard it.
I noticed it.
I heard it, Graham.
It's
Yep.
great.
Thank
I
you. It's
love
not
it.
just an inconsistency.
No.
Whereas, any Eckerds are all inconsistent.
So, girl, do you want to? You can roll a consort on that, and Bram, you can aid if you want, or the reverse, however you guys want to play it.
Yeah, I'll aid you.
Great. Can I be aided if I don't have any dice and consort?
Yeah, you would just get one die.
Just get
yeah.
the one. Okay.
You can. I mean, you can make claim to another roll if you can justify it narratively, not narrify it justively.
But if you could narrify it justifiably.
I speak English.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I just don't. Okay, or how about I say, I really think it would be best if you. Oh, I don't know. No, I'll just take the one dice.
The consort. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if a command, but I just don't.
Yeah.
Think so. 4.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
4s.
So he looks at you and says, "Very sorry. You reminded me of someone. Pardon me.
Are we just indoors? Is that right?
Yes, you're just inside. You sort of just
Okay.
stepped inside. Of
As we're stepping, which way are we going? Because I got kind
Your
of
call.
thrust into the scene.
yes.
To the
but
sea
girl,
air,
were you-
Jacob. To the sea air.
Okay, so as we're going out the door, I'm going to link my foot underneath his ankle and just totally fling it back as far as I can behind him. With the intent of throwing his face as hard against the marble floor as I can.
Oh my gosh.
course.
Yes. Yes. Make the roll.
Skirmish?
Yes. Skirmish.
Okay, 6.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
And I don't
so-
look back. Just
yeah.
keep walking.
Yes, the dean, Filius, sort of says, "Yes, I'm sorry, have a wonderful evening. And like you've moved fast, his foot gets pulled out from under him. He slams, boom, onto the stone. You don't look back, girl. If you do, you see a man clutching his bleeding nose. That's it. We're going to put, because of the 2 4s that you rolled, we're going to get 2 ticks into your being watched.
No.
And 6 ticks for the bloody nose.
Nope, not at all.
That's good.
Bloody nose is a 6. That's a success. So the girl and Bram, you step out on the balcony. You're among some statues. There are beautiful statues all around you, mostly human figures. There's like, maybe a Leviathan hunter with a big harpoon, which has been outdated. They don't really use those anymore. No, they do use those, but it's an old school one. And sort of a nymph-like figure dancing in a dress.
I thought that man was going to hand us a piece of red paper, to be honest.
Was he a criminal, or
Yeah. And
police?
Yeah. I pull out the red paper and just kind of flash it at the girl. It says a time, correct?
Yeah, there's a time that's given. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's sometime later this evening.
What is that?
It was handed to me by a man in an autumnal mask.
The autumnal mask. So presumably we're meeting someone. I'm supposed to deliver. And I'll check. A brooch, and there's someone. I think she's here. She likes the sea air.
There's a bunch of people, including Brace, Meroden, and his friends are being served some wine by a steward with a silver platter. There are 3 such servants on the balcony. One of them is sort of standing next to an ivy-covered wall, holding the empty tray, and she is taking empty wine glasses from people. But this is the girl you remember with the frozen pond mask.
I'll go over to her and
Anything I could do for you, ma'am?
I think I have something for you, actually. And I'll subtly bring out the brooch and flash it.
She looks down at the brooch and then nods at her silver platter. There is a single piece of red paper folded on it.
Can I pocket the brooch? She's not gonna stop me from taking it.
No, she looks at it, nods, doesn't go to take it.
I pocket the brooch again, take the red slip of paper and read it, and it says...
It says... the Winter Stag.
I'll show it to Bram. I have one of my own, I guess.
Very good. It seems you've passed the test.
And how many? We were looking for 4 autumn masks.
I think that's right.
I have one, you have one. Have you seen any other friends?
Well, I lost track of Hix not long ago.
All right.
Yeah, the others are not sure.
Well, perhaps we should try and find them.
Certainly. Maybe we take the other door.
Granted. We'll go in through the other door and try and find our friends.
There's this woman on the dance floor is the remaining individual you're supposed to talk to at the party. I notice Hix hasn't had too many interactions. Does she talk to you? Or does she talk to someone
of
else?
course she does.
Hix, I was gonna say, before she does that, can I find you before she does?
I don't know, Eckerd, can you?
Of course I can.
Yes, of course.
I think he's come up from fighting the guys. It's been quite a roller coaster, and then he's got Kyrol to go do the thing, feeling more on his feet. Would you be out on the dance floor?
I'd be probably looking for somebody. I'm in the process of trying to find someone, but yeah, in the dance area probably.
Okay, great. I think Eckerd grabs one more kind of shot of something from the bartender, who like reluctantly gives him another, and he takes it, and strides over to you, Hix, and stands next to you.
Oh wait, sorry. With the whoops, my camera went crazy. The bartender is a Tychrosi man whose both eyes are entirely black. As he hands you, as you know, he looks at you as you ask for another drink, looks you up and down, hands you the thing, and says, "I'm not blind, you know."
And he's like, and goes over and kind of straightens himself up and stands next to Hix. Are you looking for someone?
Yeah. Yo, are you all right? You look drunk. And like you've been fighting.
I did
Are you
fight
okay?
I did fight some people. It was with Varric. He's quite the fighter for your crew. I imagine he's the.
Is he okay?
We've splendid. I mean, he did this thing. He blew a bunch of dust in the air, and it. I mean, he's fine. He's when I'm looking, I don't know. I lost him.
Okay.
It's been I have really severely underestimated my rustiness. It's been a while since I've done something like this, and I had a rather embarrassing moment earlier tonight. I would like to, would you dance with me? Just once. I'm a very good dancer.
Okay.
Okay.
Produce my lily white hand.
And he'll grab it and escort Hix out onto the floor, and I think stand up really straight and assume the position. I'm going to go left, and I'd like to roll again to see if I can dance a little bit.
Yeah, you're welcome to. If you'd like to roll, great. If you'd like to narrativize however it works out, that's also your
Sure.
turn.
Yeah, I think this is more just the beginning of this.
Great, I love it.
Once again, he's gonna push himself. Just gotta fill up my stress bar. Don't worry, I've got 10 stress because of an ability I have. Just
Ooh.
6. Okay, so I'm going to go left. And very different from before. Leads you very confidently on the dance floor. And sort of like surprises himself as he's like, fuck, yes, I knew it. Yes. And like relaxes a second.
I'm just like, this is really doing it for you, huh?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Earlier I stepped on I ripped a woman's dress on the dance floor. It was honestly very embarrassing for her and
Good thing you're
for
wearing
me.
a mask, right?
Yes, you're right. And he'll kind of relax into it more, and it's very natural for him. A little bit back, a little bit of liquid courage.
Yeah, the music thrums into a familiar, like very ostentatious waltz, which used to be sort of like the anthem of the empire. It's called the Reuvenald after King Reuven, and it's this like beautiful piece that's very and like it always had this kind of sensuality to it, but now that it's no longer really in fashion, the instrumentalist is sort of accentuating it. So it's beautiful, and like the chandelier spins above you. And it's quite a moment, and really the dance floor sort of everyone around is moving quite dramatically, and you see Kyrol and Valerie dancing with each other, and she's smiling and not seeing anyone else except Kyrol.
So darling.
So you see Hannah Cleon dancing with her husband. There's even a passive Mara Hardenbrook with a Leviathan hunter, the fancy lady who runs the scholarship program. She's running around. So yeah, people are really like into it and having a moment.
Wonderful. And as we're in this moment, I think he'll relax into it and bring you close as we go into this. And yeah. Does Aldo ever talk about me?
No. Aldo doesn't really talk about himself.
Understatement of the century.
Yeah.
It's very... He's very good, isn't he?
Yeah.
I honestly, to be, I don't know if this is the situation or the alcohol, but I'm very, I'm jealous.
Of Aldo? Of who? And why?
Of you? You all? I imagine the music may, if the song changes, we'll just continue dancing until this.
Sure.
Of you, he's... I don't know. We used to have a crew, Not like yours, but, it was close. He, seems to have found a new one, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, we try to take care of each other, yeah.
You take care of him?
I try. In my way. Aldo and I have different priorities and different ideas of value, but I try to take care of him as best as I can.
I don't know if it's good enough.
I don't even really know what good enough means. We get by.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing thing to have a group of people who you work with and you develop a rapport and you see their process and you see them fail and you see them face challenges and you encourage them to do that. And you don't always get along or you don't always see eye to eye, but you're committed to being together. And Aldo and I are on, we have pretty different worldviews, but I think that we do take care of each other.
I think as you kind of go into this caring for each other, and you know how it is on a crew like this, all that, I think his face sort of tightens up and steels up, and he'll like go in for like a, I don't know, the customary turn on this dance and get close, and he says, "You better take care of him. He's... I don't know. He'll kill himself if you don't."
I'll stop dancing and just stand there in the middle of the dancing people, and I'll say, Aldo has to find his own reason to carry on. And I can't give him a good enough reason to carry on. I can't do that. it won't be enough. Even if it is for a while, it won't be enough forever. And Aldo is his own person and has to find his own reason to do things. And I think it's maybe a good thing for him to lay down for a while and have a bit of a close call and consider some things. So, if you are his friend, or rather if he is someone who you care about, then be there for him in your own way. And I'll do the same thing. But
He
you can't
fucking
save
won't let
people.
me. And he gets like eyes probably looking at him. You don't think I want to care for him? Of course I want to care for him. He won't let me.
Well, sometimes you have to let people go. And you need to let them move on, even if that's hard. And it's okay that it hurts. And it's okay that it's confusing, and it's okay that it's weird. Aldo feels things extremely deeply, and he doesn't often let that come to the surface. He obviously cares for you a great deal.
I should probably have another drink.
You should probably have some water, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Have fun.
And he'll stalk off somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah. Yeah. So the dancing
Eckerd.
continues. Yeah, dancing continues. Hix is left a little bit on the dance floor watching the people spin by. And with that, we'll take a little break. We'll come back in about 5 minutes. So yeah, we'll continue the party from there. So we'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you after the break. So there's one remaining evaluator at this party. You have passed the secretive, strange tests of your would-be contact. You fought some men in a basement. You stole a brooch from off of a Leviathan hunter's son, and you convinced a room of dilettantes about some political ideologies. Meanwhile, there's a lady on the dance floor looking more and more frustrated as the time goes on, just disappointed with each dancing partner who comes by her.
I'll approach her. Well, I mean, I assume that she approaches me with this line that you give.
Yeah.
Give it to me again, would you?
Let me give you the line again.
Let's go into it.
You've
I'm
been
like
seeing-
watching Eckerd go away. And...
You've been seeing this lady dance all night. She comes up in a beautiful wreath of gold and bronze leaves. It sort of presses on you immediately, her whole hand on your chest. Very, very just. She says, "Oh, sir, pardon me." Does it again. Would you like to dance with me? There's simply no romantics anymore. It's depressing, isn't it? And she looks at all these Leviathan hunters who are sort of lined up, like
with their like
dumb.
jingling boots.
Yeah.
That is canon that their boots are like kind of jingly and they like
Yes,
that.
indeed. The jingly Leviathan hunter boot. Yeah. They love like the rhythm of it. Like they think it's very intimidating, but at a party it's quite bizarre. So.
Great. I would say, yes, I would.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
I'll take her hand and
Great.
dance.
She steps out onto the dance floor with you. She says, Are you dreadfully wealthy?
No.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Dreadfully wealthy people think that it makes them so much more interesting. I'm not dreadfully wealthy at all, but I think if I was dreadfully wealthy, I would be far more interesting than them.
Oh. You keep using this word dreadfully. What do you mean? Does a great deal of wealth imply a great deal of dread, or is that just a thing around here?
Honestly, I just, I don't know, I thought it made me sound kind of dignified.
No,
It's a
so
word
you maybe
people
prepared.
use.
So you prepared this.
I mean, no, just a word. I don't know. Just having a good time.
Yes, me too.
She appears to be interested in having a good time dancing. Are you making a roll or any attempts to?
If you're asking me to make a roll, then yeah, I'm making a roll.
Yeah. She's sort of asking to be romanced. It can be a dance. It can be a finesse. It could be a.
It has to be consort because I
That's what you got.
can't really finesse much, and I mean I think I'll try hard. I think
Great.
I'll
Yeah.
push
How
myself.
do you make her evening exciting and interesting?
Well, okay, so she's looking for a good time. She's not just looking for a good dance. Is that what you're saying?
She says there are no romantics anymore. It's depressing, isn't it?
All right, so we'll dance. And I'm gonna roll a consort for this, just so I get an idea of how the next little bit goes.
Great.
And that's 2 1s and a 5. So
Okay.
we're okay.
Thank goodness.
So yeah, okay. I'm going to dance with her, and I'm going to fix all of my attention on her in such a and I want to be responding, be offering. I want to go from there to let's go to the red salon. What's the red salon like? I'll just lead her by the hand and say we're going to the red one.
She says, "Please lead away." She's sort of after the dance, having a good time. Goes up with you. You've 2 out of 4 on the clock of romancing her, and with the 5, you, as you're coming up towards the red salon, you just look back over the dance floor and see the inspector following 20 feet behind you.
Wonderful. I also want to make sure the person I really want to make sure is following somewhat close behind me is Marlane, the person who I paid.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so Marlane is some distance behind, a few feet behind the inspector, heading up. So, yeah, she comes up to the red salon. It's very dark in here, very dimly lit, lamps. There's a lot of mirrors, so you can't tell how big the room is. There's a good number of people in here with sort of like these shaded parts with with these like large sort of pillow-like couches. As you step in to like sort of the dark place, she says, "Oh, perfect," and attempts to kiss you.
So that's what goes on in the red salon.
Obviously.
I mean, okay. How does she do, Ted?
In terms of like,
you want to roll consort and see how she does on me? Because like, she's
she rolled a 4. Wait, I only rolled 1 die for her. She gets a good 4. She rolled a 5.
All right. So it's a little complicated, but mostly nice.
Yes.
Hey, all right.
One moment of tea.
Yeah, she's pretty handsy. Like she's just like, and it's these really nice touches that like have a lot of deliberateness and sort of poetry to them, like the way that she's not just. It's not like the sort of overbearing pushiness of someone who's like, yes, I want to kiss you or whatever. But it's also not the sort of like dainty removed. It's pretty sensual.
Okay. I'll go with the flow of that.
Amazing. What does your response look like in terms of narratively or in terms of mechanics?
Well, I mean, so she's like making out with me and touching me in the red salon, a dark room with many mirrors.
Yeah. It doesn't look like people are going full wild town in here, but there are definitely people in dark corners.
All right. I haven't gotten the tip on where the actual orgy room is yet, so
you can flash
I
back.
guess I'm content with the red salon. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'll just kind of follow her lead and go with it for a little while. But after a short amount of time, you want to. I don't know. Always leave them wanting a little bit more. So I'll sort of break off and then leave the salon. And
amazing. Are you gonna? Let's make a roll to see how effectively that goes. In what manner are you returning her potential affections?
Consort. Yeah. I'm not gonna stress out about it though, because I think to consort. I mean, to push oneself and and thus take stress in an act of love would perhaps give you a die but diminish your position or reduce your effect. Yes, I'm not quite sure. We'd have to ask John Harper if he's thought about it. But I'm not going to push myself regardless. I'll take it. But I rolled a 6 to politely excuse myself.
Amazing. Yes, you leave her sort of with her hair sort of blown about a little bit.
So does it seem like she's faking it?
As you go to leave, she stands and says, "Let me first." She puts a thumb on your chin, opens your mouth, and puts a piece of red paper on your tongue. She then winks, stands up a little straighter and more calmly, and then walks out.
Oh my God, this bitch just poisoned. No, okay, cool. How? All right, so now I have this piece of red paper and she left.
Yep.
And take it off and look at it.
Yes.
It's a red paper. Okay.
It is. It's blank.
Okay.
So you now have 4 pieces of paper.
Great.
That is all the 4 people who approached you.
And they say red?
So, I don't know if this is a good time to turn around and try to find the inspector there.
Sure. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, she's standing on the balcony over. So like she was close to the red salon, but is looking out on the dance floor.
I'll just approach her and make sure that Marlane is nearby somewhere, and I'll just say, "Isn't it funny how we keep meeting like this?"
I don't know if I've been recognized. beneath my mask. I suppose that's possible.
Well, you've been following me tonight. I noticed that.
There are only so many rooms, Mr. Templeton. It seems you take it a bit as flattery.
I guess I'm a little bit vain.
Is there something you need from me?
No, I don't think so. I just wanted to say hello since we have become acquainted. Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely evening.
Thank you.
I'll just turn and go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So, do you meet up to discuss these papers, or what are you all doing? Any other people that you're hoping to meet?
Yeah, maybe we should meet up in one of these rooms. Should we go?
Trophy room.
Yeah, let's go to the trophy room. Well, maybe.
Great.
Just as a note, real quick, if anyone is watching, there was a little Wi-Fi cutout that makes the Zoom windows go funky. So you're going to see people flying around just for a minute because we're not going to go to break. It's fine. This is how it works.
Sometimes you fly. Having a great time.
I just had to call attention to it because it's happening. Because I can also, there's some other explanations.
Yeah,
but...
thanks for
It's
running
like a choice. It's like we're Brechtian. We're revealing the labor behind the.
That's it.
Shout out to Carson.
Yes, indeed.
All of y'all being absorbed. Don't be.
Yeah,
It's
step
not
out of the
Nothing's
narrative.
real. Nothing's real. Remember that.
Please run away from your screen now.
All right, we're good. Sorry.
Wonderful. So the trophy room is full of trophies from the Deathlands. The central element is this large spiny creature that looks like if a coelacanth grew lizard legs and then you just had only its skeleton. It's just this big old fish-headed thing with this huge maw.
Cool.
Yeah. And there are a bunch of other sort of mutated Deathlands creatures that are sort of festooning the walls, both mounted heads and skeletons of all these creatures that are around. You see there are a number of men wearing like bone dog masks in one corner, chatting over one of the specimens. One of them says, "Oh, but of course it's a fake brace." Brace says, "We should give them the benefit of the doubt, I think."
These guys in here talking shit on their trophies.
Of course they are.
So funny, man. This trophy, black.
Bram strolls in first. To take a moment to adjust my mask, kind of look around a little bit.
Great. Yeah, the others are arriving.
Yeah, as the girl comes in, she sort of mutters to Varric, I mean, call me hopelessly female, but I kind of thought a trophy room. I was picturing, metal trophies shaped like this. I don't go in for hunting, I guess.
To be entirely honest, neither have I up till now, but, that's a very impressive specimen. It's,
and I guess one can call it a trophy, so...
Yes. But, it's a remarkable number of teeth.
I'll
Well-
join.
Were you able to do the take the little the brooch?
I mean, yes, and I still have. And how far are we away from Brace? I'd like to sort of usher us to maybe the other side of the trophy room.
Yeah. It's like dimly lit. Like the lights are all on the trophies themselves, so that like they're the focus, and everyone else is sort of dark. So it's you and the Deathlands hunters, and maybe 3-4 other pairs of people. It's a large enough room that you've got your space.
I do.
There's
have
some
the
like really
brooch.
lame. Sorry, there's some really
Yeah.
lame trophies which are all like small bird skeletons, just like perched as if they're still alive on some like some things. Anyway,
Many of them pigeon-sized.
um, they're all a bit larger.
Well, pieces of paper. The
I'll
red
produce
ones?
mine.
Mhm.
It's a little bit soggy. The spit of my tongue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got one.
So
Eckerd and I fought off 12 men for this.
Oh wow!
Eckerd does not dispute it.
Nice
Yep.
job. That's
Yep.
cool.
So the first paper obtained by Bram declares a time. The second paper obtained by Varric and Eckerd says Salon. The third paper obtained by the girl declares the white stag. Is that correct? I don't know if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah.
And Hix's is blank.
But why the blank one? Hix, was there anything on it before it got soggy? Perhaps?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I fucked with some stuff that is administered from paper, but it usually takes between an hour to 2. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start having some, I don't know, ego disillusionment later. You check in with me. We'll see where I am.
Perhaps it represents color.
I mean, mine already says white stag. That has a color in it already.
Does it have anything to do with the red deer?
Red deer, what's that?
Oh, that's the place where I kick it.
That's where
It's a
you
bar
guys
and
get
so
food
forth.
there. That's where you met the girl for the first time.
Yeah,
You guys were in-
of course. Yeah, I'll remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a bit of a stretch, no?
What does the
Stag,
salon
deer?
have to do with it?
How long from now is the time that's written on mine?
10 minutes.
Oh,
Well, I think we've got somewhere to be. We've just got to figure out what that place is.
So it's white stag salon. So was there a white stag and the red salon? Something? I mean, I was in there, but I wasn't paying attention to the room much.
I mean, how far away? It's the next door to the trophy.
It's
room,
next
right?
door. Yeah.
That's
you're-
I can take a look. I'm gonna like peek my head in. 2 minutes later, I'll come back. What do I see?
Sure. It's pretty dark in there. You don't immediately see anyone or anything that indicates that.
Okay.
Not immediately, however. But
So maybe
you-
they'll show up.
Depends.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
Can Bram, while this is happening, do a study? I want to see like what kind of inclination or conjecture I can make based off of the clues.
Sure.
I will
Absolutely.
aid.
Yeah.
All
Great.
right, that's a 4.
Great. Right, with the aided die?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
It would have been double ones.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, my
golly.
gosh.
Graham
Woo!
is rolling.
hey, getting lots of partial successes. So I'm gonna put a tick in you're being watched. So you just feel more like people are passing by. And it's not just the inspectors. There's like other folks who sort of like appear to be looking about, and then it's sort of like ball stuff where people are just looking around trying to figure it out.
In
You get the sense
city
that
of voyeurs.
Yeah, you get a sense that it makes a lot of sense that all the paper is red for a reason. There are 2 salons in the house, and only one, and neither is indicated except for by this color. So it seems at least a reasonable place to potentially wait for something to happen.
I suggest we reconvene in the red salon,
Okay.
at least for now, while we're waiting.
Okay.
Much as I enjoy the company of our friend over there.
And I give a nod over at Brace Meroden.
He raises the glass, says, "Good evening."
It's feeling
To
jocular.
avert my eyes.
Yeah, you head into the Red Salon. There are a bunch of people kissing in the corners of this room. There's probably like 17 people in here. Some of them are unmasked, actually, like because they've taken them off to
Naturally.
make out with each other. Yeah,
To
as you
kiss.
would expect. Yes, though some can have like half face masks that work.
I'll just sit in a corner and pull out my little trance powder vial and tap some out and chop up a little line. And seems like a good place to get
Yeah,
high.
absolutely. Yeah. You take a nice whiff of it and feel relaxed. The lights have been dimmed. You're tired. It's been like 4 hours. You've been here at this party. It's been a long time. And at one point, you just hear a light, airy voice. There's like little noises and little conversation whispered. But this light, airy voice says, "That will be all you can go now." Every single person in the room besides you looks towards the speaker. They all look at this woman who is sort of sitting up, putting on a mask. All of them stand up and leave the room. And the door closes behind them.
That was a very fine performance, I must say.
She turns her mask towards you, and you see it. There is a Severosi woman sitting on a chaise longue in the dim light. Her mask is clearly representing winter. It has the shapes of antlers coming off of it. You think they might be actual antlers of a stag or a hare or a Deathlands creature. They're powdered with false snow, which matches the white pelt of fur draped across her shoulders. Her dress, however, is not white, but crimson with a plunging neckline. Her long legs are revealed as she crosses them. Her hair is a deep black, braided in a complex knot. You wonder if the knot carries its own secret message. Though she is Severosi, she speaks in a clear Doskvol accent with no trace of her origins. She says, "I hope you'll forgive me. I gave them a few more minutes. They seem to be having a good time."
I certainly did, I must say. Had me fooled.
I wondered if you would be joining in on the festivities. Pardon me for my theatricality.
Myself now. Now and in this fine establishment, this house that I'll be interested in convening with in that way.
I see.
Not
Yeah,
one.
where's Marlane? Is she like outside the room or like?
Your call. Your call. Hix.
He's totally saying this for. I assume Marlane was
Yeah,
with
I mean
us.
she's like by the door. Or something. I don't want her listening, but I want her. there.
Oh my gosh. Woo.
I'm
She,
just like nervous, like from like Marlane to Bram, and I'm just like Bram is going to kick my ass later.
yeah, either one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
The woman pouts a little bit and goes, "I'm sorry if I've invited you to a party that wasn't any fun. Did any of my friends please you?"
We had rather a good time down in the cellar. Boisterous. Rough housing, All in a good day's work.
I was told you were quite creative. I like that. I pardon me. I will get down to business, especially because the longer this room remains closed, the more we raise some suspicion. We know nearly nothing about each other, but I think that both you and I would prefer that stay the case, as there are, after all, too many nasty rumors going around these days. You see, I've reached out because I feel that our goals may at least temporarily align. You see, I represent a collection of individuals, a club, let's say. People concerned for the state of the city. That laborers are being exploited, powerful men seizing more power than they deserve. It's all quite worrisome. And
Right.
And so much of it seems to come back to our friend Ruthus Enjim. Now, I wish to allay your fears. I have no interest in asking you to fight him. I'm not sure if you heard about the scuffle in Underlight some 2 weeks past, but it seems he has quite a powerful proprietary military force. We don't want to destroy Enjim, my friends and I. We want to humiliate him. He is regarded as Doskvol's savior. We want his despotic dreams revealed. He has unprecedented hold of the rails and the railjacks and the shipping companies. And we want his grip loosened by cutting a tendon, if necessary. Within the next few months, decisions of import will be made. First, the question of the Railjacks Union will be decided, if you're aware of that. The second, you may not know. The Ministry is seeking to become a wholly separate entity from the Crown, beyond royal or legislative foresight, and a vote is being made in the Assembly on the matter. The Progress Consortium is happily going along with it, and many Conservation Salon members feel they must, given the Ministry's popularity. But we believe that there is secret information available. Projects of Enjims that may cause enough of a scandal to keep it from going through. If you were to find such incriminating information and release it through the right channels, you could not only help me, but also likely increase the chances of your friends, the Railjacks' survival. Now, all these details are uninteresting until I get to this. We will pay you 10 coin to resolve this in the manner of your choosing. We'll pay a third of that up front. I have more information about where that information might be found, but I figure it seems reasonable to get your assent before I give you any secrets. Do you have any questions for me?
You
I
had
guess
me
my question-
humiliate Ruthus Enjim, to be honest. It was,
Why did you pick us?
Well, first of all, we had to see if you passed our tests, and there have been a couple others who have tried their hand at impressing us, but they didn't particularly. But I appreciated your approaches. We also felt that you had motive, reason to want to do something so dangerous, something a bit outside of your comfort zone.
What are your motives? I mean, I know humiliate Ruthus Enjim,
But
but
why?
who do you represent? Who are you?
Oh, we're no one, not really. We're just, as I said, a club of interested individuals. And yes, she is lying to you.
About being a club of interested.
You don't know about what? You don't know about what?
Okay.
Well,
okay.
unless you feel that would.
No, that's fair.
I mean, she's downplaying.
She's being deceitful about the
Yeah.
exact nature of her group. I mean,
Yeah, of
she's
course.
obfuscating, which may or may not preclude what she's saying. But yeah,
Has she lied about anything else?
nope. She is offering you this job for this amount of money, and yeah, the motive also is clear. She says,
Yeah.
"You see, my friends and I have interest in the prosperity of the city, and in having benefit from that prosperity. If this goes through, if Ruthus Enjim is able to separate himself entirely from the throne, then he will sever many of our ties to the income that comes into the city. And me and my friends simply cannot have that."
I have a mechanical question,
Yes.
or perhaps a little bit of meta chat.
Love it. Yeah, hit me.
So what we typically do is we smuggle goods.
Yes.
She is contacting us about smuggling information, which
Yes.
would be more of what a shadow crew does.
Yeah,
The
it's a little bit.
like-
It's a little bit like
like
stealing
the
some
trafficking of information. I
Yeah.
think that it is something that the characters in the crew would be interested in doing,
Yeah.
and perhaps interested in giving our resources towards. It might be interesting to, I mean, we do have a pending level up for our crew. It might be interesting to, I don't know what the mechanics are specifically about dabbling in other crew types, if there's a way for us to,
Ooh, that's very interesting.
I don't know if there's something like a long-term project so that maybe we can gain like a
temporary
shadow
special ability of shadows.
or something that would, or like a cohort or some sort of aid, or I don't know, perhaps I'm overthinking it. What do y'all think?
I mean, there is the veteran mechanic built in where you use 3 level ups to choose a special ability from another crew. I don't.
That's a lot of work to get to
That's
that
a lot of
point.
work to get
Yeah.
there. Is it
Yeah.
something that we, if we want to do this, could homebrew essentially
Yeah,
turning in something to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or I think I'm interested in the idea of like the temporary obtaining of something. Like that seems cool to me. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting idea and something we can either discuss now or post session as we prefer. I think that's a fun concept.
Yeah, I guess I just caught myself doing some meta thought about, well, we're a smuggling crew.
Yeah,
but
sure.
So I did want to pause and just check with the group to see, like, do we want to take an espionage job because it sounds cool?
Yes.
That's not cool. Yeah,
Yeah. And
On a
I think
meta
we can
level.
find ways to work our skill set into it so that it feels like we're still, plying our trade, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and we're always looking for new opportunities.
We are
It's true.
ambitious.
Ambitious. 2 points to the crew.
Let's get some XP, please. Just say one little word.
Well, I think I can confidently say that there are several members of our crew who are interested in this endeavor, whether because of personal reasons, philosophical ones, or simply the volume of coin you've offered us.
Oh, you're gonna make me blush. I'm glad to hear it. You say some of them. Will it be piecemeal? Do I have to woo you one by one?
I'll just kind of do a quick eye check around the group and make sure no one's objecting.
Oh,
I'll do a subtle nod.
I give half a check at Eckerd.
He's like leaning against the wall. That's about all you got.
Yeah, you. I mean, Bram, is Marlane in the room? Did you want that to be the case?
Yeah,
Like she's heard this whole pitch.
I was assuming that she was
Cool.
in the room.
Yeah, I think she's very quiet, but looks at you with a very icy gaze.
Yeah, pass right by her eye.
Love it. Yeah, she says, "Wonderful." Now, there are 3 locations where this information is likely to be stored. Attain any one, and you will most certainly find something worth using. Gaddock Rail Station is the most obvious. Laboratories are known to exist beneath the surface. There is also the Hawks End Depot, a private station owned by the Ministry, which exists about a half-day's travel by train into the Deathlands. It was built 5 years ago, reportedly for developing anti-ghost weaponry. The last option, of course, would be to infiltrate Enjim's home in Night Market.
I think we'll take the lot.
Yes, it is your choice. There's all this information. I can get you what little we have, but it is important for us that we remain aloof from this, which is why
Yes, of
I
course.
give you so little information about us.
And now I look right at Marlane.
That's our line of work. People pay us, we fuck them up.
I'm gonna like notice this exchange and step in and be like, "We'll get in contact with you. Thank you. Lovely meeting."
Yep.
Hix, the coin Hix.
That's right. So
30%, was it?
Up front. Eckerd says from the wall.
She stands up and says, "Oh, you've already got it, my dears." And she steps away. And Eckerd and Bram and Varric, you all find little pouches in the seats where you're sitting.
Look under your chair. You get a coin.
And you get a coin.
Eckerd's delighted.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Do that.
And immediately people start moving back into the room. It's been opened. You hear a servant outside, the girl with the frozen pond mask, saying, "Thank you very much. There was just some cleaning that needed to be that happened momentarily. You're welcome back into the Red Salon."
oh god,
I hate this
tears
room.
down the walls in this room.
Just to be clear, this is not the noble sex club, I hope.
This isn't the noble. Yeah, I was like, if this bitch is representing the noble.
Well,
sex
I know
club.
she goes, I'm from a club. I'm like, nah,
This is immediately
not-
what I thought.
Yeah.
It is
Like an
a sex club.
obtusely named political organization.
Whether or not it's the sex club. I mean, there are lots of.
Yeah, these are good
Yeah,
questions.
it's a
Ted, as she leaves, I would like to prowl after her.
Yeah, sure.
And see if how far I can follow.
Yeah, great. Love it.
Every roll 4. It's a 4.
That's
Okay.
great.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine.
yeah, that's fantastic. You start heading down the stairwell after her. She descends very gracefully, kind of slowly. You know, she's not making a hurry out of anything. And you follow her down onto the dance floor, where there's a man who's very nondescript. That's the description. He comes up to her and begins dancing with her, and they dance around. She continues dancing through much of the dance. You're sort of looking at her, and there's a point where the servant with the frozen pond mask passes by you and says, "Subtlety is a virtue, my dear." And you get one tick, and you're being watched.
Okay. And do I see her interact with anyone else besides the nondescript man?
You would have to make another prowl roll because she just dances for a while.
Yeah, she's just dancing.
She's keeping her cover essentially, or
Can
what
I
or you think it could be that.
If you're gonna do it, can I set you up?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he'll notice with his drunken hawk eyes, you know, that she's sort of into this and wants to kind of scout the situation. So
Cool.
I'm going to do that. Survey okay?
Yeah.
Would this be gathering info to locate a target?
Yeah.
If so, higher effect, I guess. So the setup's at a 5, and I kind of just want to point out what she's looking for.
Nice.
That works.
Awesome. Yeah. If it's increased effect, then it basically has the same effect as a 6.
Oh.
So yeah. So you you increase the effect of her next roll.
It was a 115.
Okay.
Cool.
5.
Okay. You follow her for another 15 minutes or so. She keeps dancing. She says hello to a few people, including Valerie, and to the general, the Brigadier general who Eckerd talked to earlier. But just these brief, whatever. She goes up to Juliana Felmore, and you hear her saying this incredibly sort of simple, "Thank you so much for the evening. Good night." Then she steps out and goes out there's a western doorway that leads down to a dock where there are some boats waiting for you, for them. And she steps into a boat. There are two servants on the boat, both women, and they begin to sort of pole off into the night.
Nondescript boat.
It's very nice. It's a very, very nice boat.
It's pretty descript. Thank you.
It's a very descript boat.
It's extremely descript. Wonderfully descript. As you turn around to head back into the house, the dock is now empty as they've just sort of stepped in. The doorway back into the mansion closes, and the inspector with the scarred face steps towards you and says, "Made some friends, have we?
Can I help you?
You can come with me if you'd like."
I plan on going back into the ballroom. Are you asking me to dance?
She says, "We need you for questioning," and she pulls out her pistol.
It's not usually a part of dancing. I'm on a dock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
At this point, Bram will notice that the girl is not with us
Okay.
and stroll outside.
Okay.
Can I make a survey to find her?
I think the girl I think we can basically say that you flashback that you are doing this. I think maybe for one stress that you've been following her, and so you can be there, and basically she gets one action because the girl always acts first, and then you can appear.
That's right. Reflexes. I think I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead and try and evade. I will. Nope, I'm not gonna push myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna just sort of step off the dock and into the water, and try and let the current carry me duck down beneath.
Amazing.
As far away as possible.
Cool.
In a dress.
Any bodies
Cool.
on the floor of this canal in the nice place as there are in the gross place? Just curious.
Probably.
It
Don't
is
roll too badly,
Doskvol.
or zombies will get you.
Yeah.
Okay. Could I make that a prowl since I'm
Yeah, you're trying to
be
sneak
as-
away. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
There's a splash and then she's gone.
Yeah, I'm into it.
5.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so you do a backflip?
I would actually like it to be like as nonchalant as possible.
Oh, yeah,
It's
just
sort
a-
of like, well, that's not a pot of dancing, and then like a sidestep and a
Amazing.
drop. And
Yes.
she's gone
I
with
love
a
it.
splash in the air.
Yes, amazing. Yeah, she's got her pistol. She takes a few steps towards you. You take a few steps back and then splash into the water. Your left leg, you feel this like as you smack into a rock and get a level 2 harm, a sprained ankle. You can resist that if you'd like, or you can take the harm.
Oh, I will take the harm.
Okay, great. Ouch. Yeah, so you just hit that as you fall down. You sort of the thing is, the fall is fine, but it's like as you're falling into the water, you hit the thing, but you and are sort of floated away down the current. And Bram, you are able through the window of the doorway to see her falling. So you have the choice of whether or not you're going to engage with the investigator or just peace and let her not find you.
Is there anyone other than the inspector?
Just her, just the inspector.
I charge recklessly toward her, and I'm gonna attempt to
You're gonna spear this bitch.
body tackle her Goldberg style into the river as well.
Amazing.
Hopefully that it'll disorient her enough
Okay, great.
that she won't just like shoot where she's not supposed to go.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, with the ultimate goal being to attempt to kill her if possible.
We'll see.
Sure, great. Yeah, love it.
First, I just want to get her in the water.
Yeah, you're tackling her off the dock, and that's great. So she's tier 2, so anything you're doing against her is reduced in effect by 2. You could spend, you could trade position for effect if you like. We could also give a devil's
I
bargain
would
if people
like
want to.
that. I will make this
Awesome.
desperate.
Great, awesome.
Skirmish?
Skirmish, yes.
It's a 3.
Oh no.
No.
Oh man. Okay.
So maybe
you
I'm like running too far and I like don't get there before she sees me running toward her.
Yes. Yeah. So you're running. So you come out the doorway. It's not that far. So it's like only like probably 10 steps across this before you would dive her across the off the thing. And she turns like the girl's gone. She's run to the pier looking down. She looks back up at you, sees you running, pulls out her sword and says, "You've knocked me into water once before," and dodges out of the way of you and stabs you in the gut with her sword.
Armor.
No,
Amazing.
thank you, he says.
Yeah, she feels the clang of maybe I have like legit chainmail on underneath my robes.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of like the civilization vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Okay. Can I keep going?
Absolutely. Yeah. She's tried to stab you. She steps back and says, "We're going to do this, huh?"
We've done it once, we'll do it again.
Right.
I would like to I I'd like to wrench her wrist back. This is what I'm attempting, and try to stab her in the back, like pulling her arm back and getting the blade into her back.
Oof. Yes. Nice. Love it. Yes. Make another skirmish roll.
It's a 3.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So so what happens is you go in for this, like trying to grab her, and there's another boat appearing. Like you are illuminate, like you're about to make the move, but a bright light, a searchlight off of a boat, strikes you in the face, sort of pushes you back, and a boat roars up, and she says, "Sorry, not this time." And then she goes again to slice at you as she leaps towards the boat, and she says, "Ready for me, Silas?" and leaps back, and you see 2 other inspectors in the boat. So she makes those slash at you for a level 2 harm sword wound. You can resist. You can use
I'll resist.
3 more slots on armor, or
So am I resisting? I'm rolling prowess.
yes, yeah. And you could also, if depending on how much inventory you use, there's the 3 slot heavy armor if you want.
I need my inventory. That's a
sure.
6.
Okay, great. So no stress.
yes.
But she in slicing you, she is able to leap onto the boat.
Okay, so I kind of step back from the blade, draw a pistol, and fire right at her head.
Oh my gosh!
Hunt?
Amazing. Yes.
Other people can do things as well, by the way.
No, I'm waiting. This pistol
I am
shot's
waiting
gonna
with.
bring me
I'm
in.
talking to
Yeah.
Marlane. I'm like, yo, this sucked. I'm sorry. Inside,
I'm still in the red salon.
I would love to rush out and
No,
help
I
you.
think
I think you're handling it.
I'm gonna
Also-
hunt with a push.
Great. Also, I'll just say, girl, where have you, like, you can choose how you've ended up. So, like, there are other pillars holding up the house, which you could have gotten onto, which you could have, like, laddered up onto and had a vantage point. You could also just be, like, on the grounds if you wanted to, just, like, have the current taken you some distance onto the grounds, like, basically getting up on the beach cold in your wet dress, or having it been changed into your blacks, however you want it to be.
So I'll sort of have clambered out and be like, oh shit, I actually really liked this dress, and I'll take it off, and underneath I'm wearing the blacks, and I'm gonna try and scale the house. Yeah, I'm gonna try and scale the house.
Cool. Sweet. Bram, make your gunshot attack.
Okay, and I'm trading position for effect for a desperate roll.
Ooh, this is your 3rd desperate roll. Amazing.
5.
Okay. The shot. So increased effect with reduced effect. So it's the net is reduced effect. She leaps into the boat. The bullet strikes her in the shoulder. And she just sort of sits down in the boat. You see the other inspectors just looking at you as the boat disappears off into the waves. So
Let's shoot at it.
yeah, they're gone.
How much stress to shoot at it?
You could do
flash that shit
you
back.
could do 2 stress flashback to be in a window in one of the other rooms to make a shot.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Did
Cool.
we hear the gunshot?
Yeah, I
There-
inside at the party.
There is, so the dining room folks and some it heard it. The ballroom, there was enough noise that it probably didn't get much heard, but so kind of a wild moment. But yeah, there's some people, a couple people rush out onto the pier nearly immediately and say, "What happened out here? Did somebody fall? Did a boat strike the docks?"
They just see this figure in a hooded headdress with the marble face with gun smoke around him.
Oh my god.
And I say, get lost.
Oh my god.
The people there, this couple who look very frightened. Do you want to command and get yourself another die since you succeeded in commanding frightened people?
Yeah. 6.
Amazing. Yeah, they. So sorry, sir. Oh, my apologies. And the lady says, "My husband, he always interferes with things constantly." And the husband's like, "What do you mean?" And then they go back into the house. So yeah, they're all gone. Yep.
Okay, I'll sheath the pistol and I'll actually just leave. At this point, I think Bram's done with the party, so I'll just stroll back to the Orca's Tooth.
Sure. Could I throw something at you, Bram?
Please.
If, hypothetically, if he goes back up to either of the balconies, if he particularly goes onto the garden balcony, maybe sort of in his rage and frustration, goes back up there, he would see that the balcony is essentially empty. But as he's looking out over the White Palace, there is down below, there is someone sitting on the rooftop. This is a young person, it looks like. Maybe a servant, it looks like, maybe from the dress, sitting on the slanted red tiles, staring out at the palace. They're hidden next to this sort of jutting window that casts a shadow on them. They're slim and childlike with a cap on their head. They also are looking out at the palace, but at one point they turn back and look up at you. It's hard to see their face, but the eyes are bright and intelligent.
This is on the roof of the manor.
Yeah, so you could step down basically step over the railing and walk down the roof.
Yeah, great. I'll do that.
Okay, so you step down the tiles, and maybe sort of crouch in a shadow across from this.
Yeah,
person.
mask off at this point,
Yeah.
I think.
Great, yeah. The figure says, "Did you find what you were looking for?"
Well, I found a few things. A couple of them were a bait and switch.
Oh yes.
Do I recognize her? Them?
Make a study roll. Or yeah.
5.
Okay. It's hard to tell exactly. The profile looks familiar.
And have you found what you were looking for?
And I'll kind of nod out toward the palace.
The figure looks out and sort of lets out a sigh and says, "I found a party. It's funny, these things, when you know what they are, really, it's hard to see the mask of it, the happiness and the dancing and the frivolity. And instead it seems like, I don't know, do you feel this way, that sometimes you look at the world and you can see its teeth? You can see it eating at itself?"
I'm afraid that sometimes I am the teeth.
And I wipe some blood spatter off my face.
Yeah. Says, "We're different in that way." She takes off her hat and long silver hair pours out down to her shoulders. She says, "Go to bed." Yeah, she says, "No one else really cares about it. The city, everyone just wants to see what it can do for them."
It's a bloody awful place. But there are people who care.
She wipes her eyes. Yeah.
I remember a night, years ago now, when a very important young man was in trouble and he found help. And I think I knew who he was when I helped him. But I didn't dare ask. I think I knew who you are, Your Royal Highness.
I think I know who you are too. School teacher.
He kind of takes a step back at that.
Not anymore. I'm afraid that man is dead. Only the teeth are left.
think you're still a teacher, though, even if you're teaching more violent lessons. You found Esmelda. I'm sorry for that.
You're sorry.
Oh, just sorry for the inconvenience. It always feels like that for me. Like I'm not the one in the dress or the crown.
May I see you again? Please.
I certainly would like that. I wish I had time to meet people who I want to meet. Here's what I'll say. Yes, but don't know when.
Where I come from, the people take what they want. It isn't always pretty, but there's a freedom in it.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I live a very different life from yours, Your Royal Highness. But if I could reach out and take what I wanted, I would. Maybe one day you'll find that freedom.
She looks up at the stars overhead in the night sky, nods a little at that, and says, "I hope so." She stands, and says, "Someone waiting for me, Mr. Schoolteacher. Perhaps I'll hear from you again."
As she's leaving, I'll just reach out a hand and give her something.
Okay.
I want to give her just how about a spirit bane charm? Just some kind of token.
Yeah.
I don't know what these charms would normally consist of, but maybe it's like a wilted herb, kind of like bound it with some string or something.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think, and yeah, there's a like a pressed flower, tied up with something. Maybe it's on some paper with some runes on it. Yeah,
Great.
we'll maybe engage with what exactly it is at some point. But
Cool.
yeah, a spirit's bane charm. She reaches out her hand and takes it. It's, very long fingered hand. Takes it from you. Your skin does not touch in the process of her taking it. She puts it into a pouch at her waist and then closes it up with several clasps and says and looks at you, nods, and then runs and dives off of the rooftop into the water below.
Wow.
And you see there's a boat down there at some distance. So she dives, splashes into the water, gets into the boat, and it starts to move off.
Bram will just stay on the roof then.
Meanwhile, the girl climbed up on the roof.
Yeah, girl, do you want to? Let's make your roll and see if you meet up
Maybe
with
she
Bram.
saw that.
Yeah. Would you like to have spotted that girl?
I think maybe from a distance, but she
Sure.
wouldn't approach. Yeah.
Sure. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, let's make your pro roll and see how that worked.
6.
Amazing. Yeah, you make it up. Yeah, maybe you make it up a minute or so before they do that. Is there anything you do on the roof? So it's up here. There's nothing too fancy, but there are a couple upper floors to the house that you weren't given access to. So you could look in through those windows or whatever you're feeling like doing. Your call.
I do think I'll scout the upper floors to see if I can identify Juliana Felmore's room. Chambers.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, make a study roll or a survey roll, whatever you want it to be.
I would have given. I'll aid because I gave you a blueprint of.
That's right. I have a blueprint.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll take 2 additional stress and aid that.
Okay, cool.
Isn't it just one for aiding?
I'll take one additional stress.
Yes, just one. That's
And
true.
eight.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank you.
5.
Okay. Would you like her to? Well, how do you think it works out? Is she there in the room? Is it empty? Kind of how do you want it to be?
Okay, so here's what I'd like to have happen.
Yeah.
So I'm scaling the house. I identify the rooms. I think we're about the same size.
Mhm.
And then I'd like to break in, get a dress, maybe pick up a few other light things, and then make my way to the roof with the dress draped over my shoulder.
Yeah. What does the dress look like? I think I think with the study and everything, I think I'm willing to just give it to you.
I'm gonna try and sort of see if there's anything that looks at all like the dress that is now muddy and ruined. So something like gray or silver or...
Yeah. This is a Leviathan Hunter's daughter. There is a black dress that is inlaid with a great deal of silver that's very much looking like the currents of the sea. It's very oceanic looking thing.
I'll take that, drape it over my shoulder, make my way up to the roof, and just see, I think that's my friend over there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you see Bram there, and maybe you see a little conversation happening, and you see a girl with silver hair in servant's clothing run off the edge of the roof and dive off.
That is startling to me. So I'll sort of scamper over. Did she just fall? You didn't push her.
You both just completely stopped obeying anything related to the party, and you're both on the roof.
I know, Bram is fighting people, and the girl is climbing the building. It's finally a contraband.
We're each living in our idiom. Bram looks up at you a little misty-eyed and says, "I think she's going for a swim."
Oh,
From who was that?
Just an old friend. Acquaintance, really.
Should I ask you more, or I think
You can ask.
perhaps-
And he grins and walks away.
She'll just smile to herself, don the dress, and then step over the balcony edge and
Nice.
re-enter.
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Guys. Cool.
Yeah. Is there anything else that happens at the party? There's, your call. You get the sense that there's still some people watching you, even with the inspectors gone. This isn't complete, everything's fine now that they're gone. There's still some tension. Things could go wrong if you stuck around too much longer, but I'd love to give everyone moments if they wanted to socialize with anyone or anything.
Eckerd doesn't need anything, but I want to know how it ended up for
Valerie.
Valerie, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I just...
No, I love it. Yeah. So Kyrol comes up to you, Varric, at some point, claps you on the back and says, "How'd it go for you?"
Pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good. Your contact was very, very well connected. They had some interesting propositions for us. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, glad to hear it. It was nice to just have an evening to enjoy for once, without any stress or anything challenging. It was great.
Of course.
Yeah, and yeah.
How was you? So, did you meet anyone? Do anything
Oh, danced
fun?
with 2 girls. Yes, wonderful. It was nice to meet young Miss Cleon. She's quite a lovely, charming young lady.
Miss Cleon.
Yes. Have you met her? Valerie.
Once or twice.
Oh, I see. Hopefully I'm not intruding on anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. You had a good conversation with her, I trust?
Oh, yes. We'll see if I see her at the next ball. Yes, it was quite pleasant.
I'm sure you will.
Thank you. And you see she's not there, but maybe as Bram and the girl are heading across the garden, you see there is a little swing underneath an awning, and Valerie is just sitting there looking up at the stars, very dreamily.
Sister, how was it?
She looks up at you and at your completely different dress that you're wearing and your soaking wet hair and goes, "Oh, I'm fine."
You seem distracted or something written in the stars for you, perhaps?
Oh, nothing's wrong. No, just... What? What did you say?
Something written in the stars?
No, well, I don't know about that. But they really are lovely, aren't they?
So I take it you did dance with Kyrol.
Oh, yes, of course I did. Yes, he came over and he was very friendly, and we danced several times, and we did the Ruvenald even, and I don't know. It was just a few dances, and he danced with some other people, and I danced with some other people, and it was fine. But...
You do know, Valerie, that you're better than the whole lot of them.
Well, if I'm completely better than everyone, then it makes romance quite boring, you know.
Well,
It's
you're
nice
at
to
least
pretend that they're not better, that they're not all worse than me.
you're at least better than the merchant. But I'll let you have your fun, shall I? And I'll sort of pat her on the hand.
She
Like,
grabs
look-
she grabs your hand and kisses it.
I'll give her like a little pat on the cheek affectionately
Yes.
and walk back into the
You
ballroom.
two are precious.
She says, Did you meet anyone?
In a romantic capacity?
What other capacity would there be at an evening like this?
You know, there was a beautiful woman. Red dress, white antlers. Actually, Valerie, I think she spoke to you.
Did she? Oh. I must have missed it.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, I saw her sort of making the rounds. I suppose it wasn't
yes.
anything significant.
Not that I was aware of. She didn't tell me her name. No one told me their names. I'm so foolish. But I'm sorry. I should have asked about you.
Oh, quite all right. And I'll
Great.
make my way back in.
Yeah.
And as I go in, I would like to just check if someone's here or if a couple people are here.
Okay.
Did the Keltry Sisterhood are they invited? Did they come?
Theodore Keltry is deaf here. Yeah. She's been in the Blue Salon for much of the night. Yeah.
In the witch salon?
The Blue Salon. There isn't a
Yeah,
witch
the
salon.
witch salon. She was in that one. Anywhere, any salon that Theodora is in becomes the witch salon. Sorry. This is talking to Marlane. Business.
Yes. Yeah, she's been in the Blue Salon for much of the night.
Can I just watch her, see what she's doing? I just want to get a read of her again, and then I'm just lurking in a corner.
Yeah, sure. Make any roll you want, whether it be prowl or study or survey or
I'll
however it
just do
serves you.
survey.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense. 5.
Great. She looks, she's observing people. She's very interested. She looks like kind of a people watcher. And we can even maybe that you've done some of this observing earlier in the evening. But she, the Blue Salon has some shelves with books. And so she's been looking through some books and discussing them with people. And yeah, a little bit quieter, but sort of looking around and running her fingers along the walls. And specifically, there's these symbols that are written in some different parts of the walls of the house. And she sort of pays attention particularly to them. You also see her looking up at the ballroom and up the stairways. So yeah, she's you can't tell if she's just curious about architecture or casing the joint for something. Hard to tell. So
Me too.
yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know if she if she was here.
Totally. Yes. I love it. Varric, anything? Or
Yes.
anything else for you? Either of you. Everyone.
Well, now that we've gotten been told about something happening out in the Deathlands that we need to get to, I'm gonna basically go next door from the Red Salon to find Brace.
And you'll run straight into him in the doorway.
Yeah.
And he says, Mr. Lomond, I'd recognize you anywhere with a mask.
Oh, Brace.
I just heart him.
Yeah.
He's so great.
And I would recognize you too, my friend.
Yes, who
It's
do I?
a
who
joy
am
to
I?
see you here.
Who am I? You don't know me. I'm not recognizable at all.
You give yourself away from your habitats. I noticed you not admiring, but perhaps commenting on the trophies.
I'm trying
Rather
to.
a poor effort, don't you think? Yeah.
I think it is very respectable. I don't think that it is. I don't think that it is any sort of honorable to try to downplay another man's achievements or woman. Seems weak to me.
Of course. That wouldn't be sportsmanlike.
Yes.
One should always aim to achieve higher results than. What is the name of the outside of what is the name of the creature? Would I know what the name of the creature is?
Oh, the creature is.
The trophy.
Oh, the big coelacanth. It is a. You tell him what you say. The name of it. I don't know what it is. It's a creepy ocean strider beastie.
One can do. It's very well for someone to bag a creepy ocean, but
That got Ted. Wow.
Go on.
But I hope that when we go out, we look for larger sport.
All right, what kind of rolls? Is this consort? You trying to impress him? Is this command? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'd say this is consort. This is I'd like to arrange like a specific time, like
Great,
set,
sure.
like
Yes.
get him to agree, like, oh yeah, we're going out next week. or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
But I will consort 6.
All right. He looks at the creepy ocean strider, looks at you, and he says, I'll see you on the 26th, my boy. And he, and he grabs you, like slaps you in the chest, just like hits you on the sternum and walks past you.
That sort of waits until he's away and then keels over, feeling the pain from the punch to the stomach earlier, doubled up with the.
Yes. Amazing. So, have we finished at our experience at the ball, or is there anything else that we should do?
I think one small thing. I don't have to play a big
Yes,
scene. Or
please.
whatever.
Please hit me.
I
Yes.
think near the end of this, couple more or whatever, kind of brooding underneath the balcony.
Yeah.
He'll spot Lily and Colt one more time and approach the Brigadier General.
Yes.
And just in leaving and saying goodbye and once again nice to see you. He says,
Of course.
I think Aldo Basran would
Of course,
would
yes,
love
yes,
to
yes.
see you.
Oh, yes. Do you know his current residence?
I can send word. Where shall I send it?
Oh, send it to Colt House, of course, in Brightstone.
Right, of course. I'm sure he would really appreciate seeing you.
I'll invite him for dinner. How's that? And yourself, perhaps.
That would be wonderful.
Perfect.
Excuse me.
Okay, so This is just going to be a funny scene because Carson will be playing Aldo and
Right.
I'll be playing Eckerd
Yes.
and
Yes.
the Lieutenant.
Yes, yes,
This
like
is such
many
a
people.
fun aspect of the game. It's really, really cool.
It's really great. I love it. So, finishing up, we do need to be done for this evening, but one last thing. Aldo, you are in the garden. It is overgrown, it is overflowing with an obscene amount of flowers. There's fog all around you. You can barely see 10 feet. At the end of the garden, at a long pace, there's a white gate. Do you approach it?
Yeah, running.
Yeah, you run towards the white gate. You feel the distance expand as you're heading towards it. You get the sense that you will have to attune if you wish to approach the white gate.
Scrapers. Okay. I will do that. Can you dream stress? Can you ghost field stress?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can take it.
He'll wake up with
You're going
stress.
to wake up stressed, though.
It's ghost magic,
Yeah.
you know. You can do it.
Okay. The threes. Double threes.
Okay. Oh, no. All right. So you are stepping towards it, and in between you eventually reach the white gate, and you reach out your hand towards it, but you feel yourself pressing through arcane energies. And then a ghostly hand grabs your wrist. And you look up into the face of a ghost, a bearded ghost that says, "Be careful." And then boom, you are awake in Eckerd's shed. So you have a new ghost burn on your hand, level 2 harm.
Oh, boy. Great.
You can take the harm or resist.
No, I take it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Ooh.
with that ends our session for this evening. Everyone, thank you so much for being a part of it. We went a little bit longer than we normally do. We just had a lot of fun at the party. I was like, maybe we'll do some of the downtime session tonight. Nope, too much to do at the party.
Not with
This
a
is
party
how-
like that.
Yep. Thank you all so much for being here, for your participation. Thank you guys for a wonderful session. We will see you next week. And with that, we'll bid you adieu, unless there's anything on the tech side.
I don't think so. Well, what do you think?
Is there a raid?
Yeah.
We can get one
Let's
right here.
raid
I got it.
Rob.
Yes.
Or you got it?
No. What was yours?
Rob 2E,
Perfect.
who is streaming
Rob
Dungeon of the
2E.
Mad Mage.
Oh,
sweet.
Very
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Okay, yeah,
Awesome.
we'll kick to that then.
Thank
And
you so much.
for everybody else, join us on Sunday morning,
Yes.
10:30 a.m. Central Time for Zoa Stardust.
Yes.
And I think that'll be our other stream for this week. Thanks so much.
yes, absolutely. Enjoy. Have a wonderful night, all. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.